Yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those things to make it out, got me feeling like pain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. Putting on for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babylons, they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, flow is like water. I'm forced through the fire, I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth, following God, and you grinding, you do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center, word to Spike Lee. And God came in the nick of time. They think I'm crazy, well I might be. Let's run it up, run it up, run it up. We beating the odds just to sum it up. You know it's a rap, never waistlines, and I'm cutting the weight like a tummy tuck. That mean I'm about to give it out right now. You see what's coming down the line, I never pipe down. I give 100% and be trying to stun on my enemies, and my element is crazy as that might sound. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Never switch up. 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 Keep that same energy. Never switch up. I'm in my element.
Yeah. ATP was goody. Salute to everybody in the building. What's good. We back at it with another one. Shout out to everybody in the building. It is Tuesday News Day. Just came off of a great fight weekend, right? Decent fights this weekend. Decent fights. Shout out to Shaqy Foster, Raymond Ford. That whole undercard, pretty decent, right? Pretty decent. Nothing to complain about. News coming out as well as the space continues to rumble about Shakur Stevenson and Zuffa Boxing. I'm having a hard time dealing with it personally because I can't get an official announcement from Shakur or Zuffa. So it's like I'm there, but I'm kind of nervous to sit here and announce it on the show. But I mean, listen, it's circulating so much in the space. You gotta speak on it, right? Clearly that is going to be very impactful for Zuffa Boxing, and we got to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to get deeper into that because they're controlling. It's almost like chess, strategically moving around all the noise, collecting champions, specifically collecting champions in a Shakur Stevenson, in a Jai Opetaia, and potentially, if the rumors are going to hold any weight, a Devin Haney. What exactly is Zuffa Boxing doing? There's so many different ways to look at it. I mean, just strategically speaking, on a chessboard level, it's definitely high level chess being played, right? Where they're quiet, but they're not quiet. Zuffa is quietly, but not quietly moving and gaining, taking territory. If you want to look at a chessboard, if you could process that and see a chessboard and see the moves being made, they are positioning themselves and still haven't really striked yet, right? Still haven't made a real defining move per se. But if you just sit back and look at the board, they look like they're coming from almost like they're flanking the game, right? Like they're flanking the game. We'll talk about it if this is true. And listen, we got some credible sources, some real pundits in the space. Obviously, everybody saw Eddie Hearn speak on it and just confirm that, yeah, Shakur is Zuffa. And Eddie Hearn was, is probably the closest person as far as the promoter is concerned to Shakur Stevenson. Not to say that he has access to more information than anybody in particular, even though he very well may. But listen, he sounded like he congratulated Shakur already, like he already spoke to Shakur Stevenson and congratulated him, right? And said, hey, man, you getting a lot of money, very similar to the Conor Ben situation, except Shakur and Eddie on good terms still, not where Conor Ben kind of was, a little bit backhanded with it, right? But still, if it is the truth, if the case is Shakur Stevenson is over at Zuffa Boxing, it just opens up a floodgate of questions, floodgate of conversation. We'll be talking about that as well today. O'Shaquie Foster coming off of that performance this weekend. Listen, man, we knew a lot about what was going to happen in that fight to a degree, right? We talked about it on all different levels about O'Shaquie Foster's strengths. We talked about Raymond Ford having to be mentally strong. We talked about the corner of Raymond Ford being so young and Teray Stevenson. We talked about the possibilities of this fight, and we all kind of saw this 50-50 fight playing out unless Raymond Ford really came in there and lost his cool, was unfocused, and then maybe the fight could be another way. But ultimately, that's pretty much what we saw was a 50-50 fight. We'll talk about that fight. We'll talk about those scorecards as well. Man, that was not an easy fight to score, right, guys? Like, it wasn't. I don't care who you were. I mean, if you really looked at the fight and you really were just dissecting everything you saw round for round, these rounds were super close. A lot of these rounds were won in the last 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds of the round, literally head to head. When you look at the CompuBox, very much a 50-50 fight. This was all about the what's the word I'm going to look for here, man? Just the savviness, the experience, the slick nature of O'Shaquie Foster. We'll talk about that, right? Fights he had. I think the Robinson-Casasiao fight kind of played out in this fight in a big way because O'Shaquie Foster literally learning from that fight, a fight in the Robinson-Casasiao fight that he was winning, that he won. Most of us believe, right? Most of the people I know who watched that fight, I remember calling that fight. Most people felt like O'Shaquie Foster won that fight. We thought it was a robbery that Casasiao got the decision or the head nod in that fight. But the reality was that I think O'Shaquie Foster had to sit back and really look at that fight for what it was. He understands how much the optics count. He learned that in that Casasiao fight. That translated in a way in this fight to where he made sure he was winning those rounds by taking important moments. He made sure he closed out the rounds strong. He made sure he controlled a lion's share of the middle of the round and the beginning of the round. And just picture the round being 5 parts: the beginning, the middle, then the middle, then the outside middle, then the end. Right? He made sure he won those important 30-second, 45-second exchanges. He made sure he had those moments in these rounds and took these rounds, whereas Raymond Ford, lack of experience, was being patient, trying to be very patient. But an O'Shaquie Foster who kept sweet feet, right? The feet of O'Shaquie Foster is probably being understated on how just great feet, great movement, great angles, right? Great combination punching, just great moments in the fight. Raymond Ford had his moments as well, but O'Shaquie Foster had more moments. Ended up taking that fight in the close decision. 118-110, 114-114 a draw, and 116-112. And the 116-112 was pretty much my scorecard. I gave Raymond Ford the first round based off of O'Shaquie Foster throwing him out that ring. Just kind of gave him that because it was such a close round. I just gave it to Raymond Ford. But the reality is that was always going to be a swing round. If you're making up your mind on how a round went based off of, what happened at the end of the round, pretty much, you know what I mean? Or, I mean, like when a round was over, getting thrown out of the ring, then that round can go either way. 116-112, I thought was probably the fairest score on that card. 114-114, sure. I think the 118, 110 was just coming off the strength of the fight being so competitive. They were just probably giving a lot of the rounds to the champion, right? It is what it is. But on the back end of that fight, we see what happened with Shakur Stevenson, right, guys? Shakur Stevenson steps in the ring. And listen, I talked about this a month and a half, 2 months ago when I put the video out called This Could Backfire, right? With O'Shaquie Foster, Raymond Ford, and Shakur Stevenson on the thumbnail. And we all know that Shakur Stevenson was hovering over this fight. He was overshadowing the fight to a large degree because the reason behind this fight was super intertwined with Shakur Stevenson. O'Shaquie Foster made it a point to make it clear to the world that this is the fight that he wanted. This is the reason why he was fighting Raymond Ford for so many different reasons. He wanted to shut Shakur Stevenson up. He wanted the fight originally with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur told him, you can't fight me. Fight my young boy. Fight my guy, Raymond Ford. And I don't want to disrespect Raymond Ford because I'm sure he's nobody's young boy per se. But this was kind of the narrative hovering over the fight, right? That Raymond Ford was, fight Raymond. I mean, he's the one in your division. You're trying to fight me. You can't even get through him. How you think you're going to get through me? Well, look, O'Shaquie Foster made a lot of people eat their crow, challenge Shakur Stevenson, called him into the ring. And I really believe Shakur would do it. And a lot of people feel like, why would Shakur do it? Listen, I remember watching Shakur Stevenson and Tito Mercado. And I remember Tito Mercado after a win, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson sitting out the ring. And I remember Tito Mercado calling out Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson sat in his chair, no issues at all type of SMDs, told Tito Mercado, get off his you-know-what, and didn't go into the ring, right? Always showed control, always showed poise, right? Very relaxed and comfortable in his skin about who he is in this game. But with this one, it hit different, right? Watching his stablemate, I guess, I don't know if we want to say that, and Raymond Ford lose that fight and then compound that with O'Shaquie Foster and the build up to this fight and all the history they have on social media, it was very likely Shakur was going to do that on the back end of a loss to Raymond Ford. And that's what he did, right? He jumps inside the ring. They have a very interesting moment, a lot of N-bombs, a lot of bad energy, no handshakes, no love lost here in between these guys. And of course, the big question the next day is what does this mean? What did we see? What did we see? Did we see a fight get set up? Is this the next big fight? Is this fight garnered legs? Is it warranted? Is it warranted a response from the promoters, from wherever Shakur Stevenson's at right now up at Zuffa Boxing and Top Rank to entertain this as a big fight? Is this a big fight? I think this is a personal fight. And I think if you're into this fight, you're into it. But as far as the boxing politics are concerned, as far as legacy is concerned, as far as, I think if you're dialed into this, then you want to see the fight. But on the outside looking in, and what I mean by the outside is if you're not of the culture and you haven't been following this back and forth between O'Shaquie Foster and Shakur Stevenson, it might be going over your head a little bit about what you're looking at. And you might be looking at O'Shaquie Foster like, what about Emmanuel Navarrete? You know what I mean? Unified, lineal championship, legacy. Get on that pound for pound list, even though beating Shakur Stevenson would get him on the pound for pound list. But, I think most people saw that size difference. You saw Shakur Stevenson towering over O'Shaquie Foster. You know where he's at 140 pounds. He's a lineal champion there. O'Shaquie Foster at 130 pounds. It's a 10-pound difference, 2 weight class difference. Right? Well, yeah, 3 weight class difference? No, 2 weight class difference, right? A 2 weight class difference right there. What's the significance of this fight? And in real time, what does Shakur Stevenson have to gain from this fight between him and O'Shaquie Foster? I mean, clearly O'Shaquie Foster would be the one daring to be great in that situation. O'Shaquie screaming out he's willing to go to 140 pounds and make this fight happen. But in real time, what is the handlers, the people with vested interest who invested in O'Shaquie Foster's career, what do they have to gain from this, right? We put all this money and this time and this effort into building you up into this position where you beat Raymond Ford, and now you seem to be one signature fight away from being a top 10 pound for pound fighter. You've garnered so much attention. Emmanuel Navarrete's right there. We got Vasily Lomachenko returning to the division at 130 pounds. The possibilities are endless. Are we going to derail Top Rank willing to derail their personal plans and ideas for Hoshaki Foster's career and allow him to go, potentially get outclassed by Shakur Stevenson at 140 pounds? I don't know, right? Especially when you look at what's on the table. Like I said, Emmanuel Navarrete sitting right there. Anthony Kakachi, one would argue, easy work for an Hoshaki Foster, right? And Emmanuel Navarrete, a big fight. Emmanuel Navarrete just breaking the pound for pound list at number 10 on the pound for pound list. That fight would produce a lineal champion in that division, a three belt unified champion in that division, one belt away from seeing undisputed at 130 pounds. Right. We'll talk about it, obviously, and the panel will open up a little bit later, and we'll have maybe a little bit of a better conversation to get your guys' perspective and opinions on it, right? On top of that, the undercard had a fight of the year candidate on it with Miguel Flores and Javon Woodard Jr. That was definitely the fight of the night and potentially, like I said, fight of the year, right? I mean, right there next to a Fabio Wardley, Daniel Dubois fight. Just straight fireworks, the whole entire fight ended in a stoppage. Both guys, probably a way more competitive fight. Definitely a way more competitive fight than Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois. Both these guys were in their bag. Javon Woodard Jr. finding Miguel Flores, touching him, hurting him finally, and able to put him out. Great fight right there on there as well. Of course, on the undercard, we had two prospects that the world's looking at, and Zaquin Moses, obviously, and my guy, Omari Jones, who will be on the show a little bit later today. Omari Jones putting on a masterclass. But you know what? Let's be real. Omari Jones, the critics are still going to be there. He did not stop this guy. This guy was supposed to step to Omari Jones and give Omari Jones an opportunity to give the stoppage that everybody wanted to see happen. Keep in mind, Omari Jones started his professional career with 4 straight stoppages, right? So this will be his 3rd straight fight where it hasn't been a stoppage. But what happened to Diego Zuniga, right? The pressure fighter, the 9 fights, undefeated, 6 knockouts, was supposed to put the pressure on Omari Jones. And I think that's what happens when you get in there with Omari Jones. Omari Jones, to me, proved he has the power and that his power is real and significant. And in my personal opinion, changed Diego Zuniga's whole entire game plan, right? Just by getting knocked down when he finally touched him and knocked him down with that lethal left hand, that lead hand of Omari Jones, proven to be a very lethal piece of artillery he's carrying around. Maybe understated and underrated. Omari Jones outclasses, didn't lose not one round that fight, and end up having to find Diego Zuniga, chase him down, cut the ring off, as Diego Zuniga, to me, from the outside looking in, looked like he wanted no problems with what Omari Jones was offering him. So it is what it is. But we'll talk to Omari Jones today. He'll be on the show. We'll talk about maybe the preparation. What were they looking forward to see from Diego Zuniga? Were they ready for that version of Diego Zuniga to show up? Sometimes game plans change. I remember talking to Omari Jones right here on the show, and he said, listen, we're preparing for the pressure. We're preparing for all of that. But at the same time, he said, listen, this guy might decide he wants to box. He might decide he doesn't want to mix it up with me. And at first I thought, come on, champ, he's going to come for you. That's all he has. And he was a late replacement. And, I saw nothing from this guy's boxing pedigree to make him feel like he can outpoint Omari Jones. So I felt like it was just almost assured that Diego Zuniga was going to press it. And I thought that Omari Jones would get a stoppage on the back end of it. But look, fighter knows, right? Omari called and saw the possibilities of this guy doing that. And we'll talk to him today. What he saw, what he expected. And, ultimately, how does he feel about maybe some of the backlash that people are still saying, listen, we want to see this guy, get these guys out of here again. We'll see how he feels about it. We'll talk about that with him as well. We'll talk about a little bit about Xander Zayas today as well. Video coming out, full access, showing Xander Zayas seems to be in great shape, like he said, in his fat camp, right? As he laughed at, obviously responding to Jerron Boots Ennis, telling the world that, Xander Zayas has a fat camp coming up. Had to lose a lot of weight, and referring more than likely not to him being in shape, but is he getting too big for the division? Is he too big for the super welterweight division, ready to move up to middleweight division? Will this fight be one fight too many? Listen, what I saw was somebody who's in super shape. He's checking all the boxes. He's flipping all the stones. He's leaving nothing for question. He just seems to be a very confident fighter, saying all the right things. We'll talk about that as well. Jerome Boots Ennis seems, I mean, listen, I expect Jerome Boots Ennis, listen, all eyes is on Xander Zayas as far as I'm concerned in this fight. And why? Because there's an argument there to say that he shouldn't even be in this fight, that he's not ready. He's the one stepping up, taking a huge challenge that without a doubt he does not need to do. He could have made a bunch of other fights. He's putting himself on the line to fight, quite frankly, outside of maybe Sebastian Fundora, probably the most dangerous fighter in the division, right? Just athletic, powerful, big puncher, menacing, switch hitter. This guy is the guy that you don't volunteer to fight. But Xander begs to differ, right? We want to see what he's going to do. At 23 years old, challenging himself like this against a way more experienced boxer in Jerome Boots Ennis. Jerome Boots Ennis was in the conversation of fighting Terrence Crawford, ladies and gentlemen, right? I don't need to sell this to you. This fight right here, I wouldn't be mad at anybody in the building. And I'm sure most of this chat right here is going to say, this kid is going to get washed. He shouldn't even be in there. Jerome Boots Ennis is going to wash this kid. Nowhere, right? That's what most people are saying. And there's good reason behind it. When you've seen the work, when you've seen the resume of what Jerome Boots Ennis has done in the ring. No matter what you want to think about his competition as far as the fighters are concerned, you've seen Jerome Boots Ennis is going to get you out here, just coming off of a knockout of Usima Lima in his last fight. So it is what it is, right? We'll talk about all of that, man, and then some, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me shout them out. Shout out to everybody in the building. Sam from Jersey in the building, of course. Sam, what's good, man? Man. SOB with the salute, Claymore blessings. Agent 0777 in the building. Salute to you. Salute to you. Warrior class, man. I feel like I ain't seen you in a minute. Warrior class, what's good with you, family? Salute, King. Salute, Warrior class. Good to see you in the building. I hope everything's okay. Everything's good with you. Akeem Blake in the building. Peace to the gods on earth. Guidance and blessings. Clay, what up? What up? What up? What up? My God, the OG, Bruce Gas. Boxing, Jazz, and more in the building. What's up, Claymore? What's good with you, man? MMA boxing addicts in the building. Salute. What's good with you, family? Chadwick Parker in the building. What's good with you? Salute, salute, salute. My guy, HLD1 in the building. What's good with you, family? Adam Hurley in the building. Shock could give Shakur problems. He has quick feet like Shakur and uses distance well. We'll talk about it, man. I don't know, man, but Oshaki Foster's definitely stepped it up. He's done what we said in the old thumbnail. He's transcended, right? He's finally getting his flowers. People are ready. Just the fact that we'll entertain this fight, that Adam Hurley would say that you got to give respect to Oshaki Foster for what he was able to accomplish, that masterclass in multiple ways, one would say he had in that ring against Raymond Ford, right? It is what it is. Dan in the building says Ford always been trash. Oh, come on, man. Ford ain't been, stop it, man. He lost the ball, and Edward Vasquez got to give it. I agree with the Edward Vasquez, and yeah, he lost the ball, but very competitive fight. It is what it is, right? Well, listen, when they down, some people going to kick him. New York Bullet in the building. What's good, New York Bullet? What's good, man? Blaze pound for pound in the building, telling y'all to do the right thing, man. Hit the like button. And, of course, as you step in the building, make sure you are doing that. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, man. Salute to you. Mrs. Van Houter in the building. Damazian Van Houter in the building. Shout out to her, man. Shout out to Damazian Van Houter, future of the American heavyweight division. Shout out to Mama Van Houter in the building. Zero Giving in the building. Salute, Clay. ATP up. That's right. What's up, man? Lone Star in the building. Salute, says be well. Claymore Rain. Salute the chat family who's in today. Let's get it, fam, for sure, man. Talk of San Diego in the building, telling y'all, just like my other guy did, smash the like button, man. Do that right now. Don't even waste another minute, man. Shout out to Eduardo Alvarez in the building. Salute, salute, salute. I'm just someone 7692 in the building, says salute, Clay. Pop Shop Talk. What it do? What's good, man? That's 2 times in a row, Pop Shop. Oh, man, I think Pop Shop is back in the building, man. He was missing for a minute. Oh, of course, we got to talk about David Benavidez. We got to talk about WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, his position on the mandating of a unification in a cruiserweight division between Noel McKellen and David Benavidez. What will Noel McKellen do? What makes more sense? What is this? How do we feel about this decision by the WBC? Clearly looks like a power move. Clearly looks like it's politically driven to sit there and put David Benavidez into a situation where he'll probably collect an elevated title or fight for a vacant title if Noel McKellen does what I think he's going to do. We'll talk about that as well. What does that mean for Jao Pataya? What does that mean for Zuffa Boxing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? We'll talk about all those things as well. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Before we move any further, I'm going to bring them up. You hate to love them, you love to hate them, or you love that you hate them. I don't know what you do, but, you know, you're doing what you're doing. But it's my guy, Angelo Reyes, in the building. Salute, Angelo Reyes in the building. Angelo, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good, man?
Yeah, now feeling great. This is a huge week. Boxing starts on Thursday, so I don't know what your schedule is looking like for Thursday, but we got a Canada card coming up if you want to do a watch party for that. And then it goes Thursday, Friday's Pro Box, Saturdays, a whole bunch of boxing happening around the world, including Zuffa Boxing, Boxing 7, right? The promos for it's looking fire. They just put out the Dublin promo, which was awesome. That was pretty. They put a little Guinness in there. That was pretty cool. And then, man, NBA Finals, first time ever. Shout out to my Filipinos in the building. But first time that an NBA Finals will have two opposing Filipino players going against each other. And that's Dylan Harper for the San Antonio Spurs and Jordan Clarkson of the New York Knicks. So good luck to everybody there. And then tonight, Clay, it's hopping in Vegas, even though the game's happening in Carolina. Everybody's here to watch the Vegas Golden Knights take on Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. So yeah, man, and I know you got a whole slate of stuff you want to talk about with this past weekend. But can I start with, remember when we had that conversation last year about Shakur Stevenson signing to Zuffa? I'm just saying, I didn't let the cat out of the bag. It's Eddie that let the cat out of the bag, but it's kind of hard to retract from it now because Eddie, the way Eddie sounded on that interview was he's signed all the way.
Yeah, he seemed to have a firsthand knowledge of it, right? When he spoke on it, as if Shakur confirmed with him, right? And he wished Shakur luck. Shakur did to Eddie what Eddie was hoping Conor would have done, right? He's like, he did what he said he would have done with Conor if Conor would have gave him the same consideration and courtesy. And he said, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, champ. I can't even compete with that. You got to go do what you got to do, man. That bag is crazy. I hope you guys go figure it out. Eddie Hearn questioning what fights could they possibly make for Shakur. And I just think at this point, the ceiling is gone, right? And shout out to Brian Custer. I popped up on Brian Custer's last stand maybe yesterday, the day before yesterday. I can't remember. I think it was Monday possibly. Popped up on the last stand with him, talked to him, and Brian Custer, shout out to him, man. I hope he lets me back on, you know what I'm saying? I think he will. But I did kind of have to confront him a little bit on, just this. We got to stop with the idea and the rhetoric behind the idea that Zuffa is an island, that fights can't get made with Zuffa fighters. It's over for that. Even with the sanctioning body rhetoric, as far as Zuffa, if you go over there, you're not allowed to fight for the sanctioning bodies. Listen, man, it's over for that. For now, at a minimum, if you want to say, let's wait and see after the Revival Act goes through, will things change? Okay, fine. I don't think things will change, but at least right now, it's clear as day, right? Zuffa Boxing is working inside the traditional space as well as pushing their league. They're still pushing the idea of their league. They're having their fighters compete amongst themselves inside of that league, mostly prospect contenders and contenders that are on the verge of crossing over to be big stars in the traditional space. And I'm thinking of a Richardson Hitchens, obviously. I'm thinking of an Edgar Berlanga, obviously, when I say that. But when you're talking about fighters like Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney or Jai Opetaia, these fighters transcend a league. These fighters are the traditional space. They're the best in their class in the traditional space. They are the champions. And it's going to be an interesting conversation we have today about that because they're cornering the best of the traditional space, right? They're collecting those guys. Shakur Stevenson is the best two-time lineal champion. He's the number one guy. Devin Haney, the number one guy in his division. Jai Opetaia, the number one guy in his division. So I'm interested in having a conversation, and we'll do it a little bit later because we got so much to talk about. But what does that say for if you're taking the belts from these guys, and I'm speaking to the sanctioning body part, right? If you're taking the belts for these guys, how are you legitimizing the champions you are going to put the belts around the waist of? How do these guys, who's going to believe that somebody else is a better fighter than Shakur Stevenson at 140? Who's going to believe somebody else? I mean, even with the David Benavidez situation, and shout out to David Benavidez, because I think it's unfortunate. The more and more I'm finding out about this whole situation, it doesn't seem like it's David who's doing this. It does seem like his hands are being tied to a certain degree because of, he has to be in compliance with the contract that he's in right now. And it seems like the handlers are getting involved with this and kind of like cornering him, right? In the spirit of activity, you almost have to give David more grace. Even though people don't want to, they want to call. You almost got to continue to give him grace, because what is he supposed to do? Look at Virgil Ortiz. Look at him. You know what I'm saying? When you push back, you think David's going to work this hard to get to this point in his career and be shelved? God forbid. No, we're not doing that. We're going to play this out. We're going to play our position, and we're going to our part of these contracts. And then afterwards, it looks like, according to Sean Zettel, he thinks, and I agree with him, and I was kind of saying that earlier this year as well. Just, David Benavidez is way more of a threat as a free agent, as somebody who's doing the Terrence Crawford, who's doing the Canelo Alvarez, right? 2-3 fights with the money. Give me 2-3 fights with Turkey. Let's go ahead and do it. And that way, the whole entire playing field opens up. He becomes the biggest payday for the biggest fighters in the league. He needs a money machine behind him, because David Benavidez is the kind of fighter who I would say has proven, and with hindsight, if the reward ain't there, the risk is just way too high. You're not getting in the ring with David Benavidez unless you're getting some real money. Same thing with Terrence Crawford. Same thing. I mean, I would say same thing with Canelo Alvarez, but he's always been the money. But there's an argument there to say that if he wasn't the money, who's trying to get in the ring with Canelo Alvarez if he didn't offer you your biggest payday, right? So certain fighters like that, even with a Devin Haney, for example, yeah, bro, people aren't trying to fight him unless they're getting their biggest payday. Shakur Stevenson as well, a fighter who was ducked for a long time until he was able to do what he did. So I have to give David more grace. I have to. I know you might not, but after finding out what's going on, I gotta give him. Tell me what you think about that, though. Are you going to give him some grace?
I'm okay with. I'm now. First of all, again, as you've done for me, where you give me credit when I'm the first one to say it. And by the way, I was the first one to say Shakur was signing to Zuffa, but I know you already know that because we had our private conversation. In both our private conversations and even publicly on ATP, you were the first one to tell me, not Sean Zettel in this report that he's given now. I'm like, no, Claymore said this like a few months ago, that he thought that this was going to be the last of the contract for David, and he's actually trying to go to Zuffa because he's got a good relationship with Dana. Now, where I push back on you on it is on the night of his fight, he was kind of clowning Zuffa, which made me feel like, nah, bro, you can't be clowning the company that you're actually trying to sign with. But between what you've told me and
Zuffa, is he trying to sign with?
Yeah,
or is he trying to sign with Turkey?
Yeah, I understand.
Now he might have to realize it's going to probably be Zuffa.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
so having said that, I will say this. I will not call Jaya Apataya a duck until I see him with his own mouth.
David.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, sorry. David, sorry. I will not call David Benavidez a duck to Jaya Apataya until I hear David Benavidez start talking about how he wants to go get the WBC belt or whatever, right? Until then, I will do what you're saying, which is I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
He's going to do that, though, Angelo. Of course he's going to do that.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because, I mean, he could go fight for the WBC belt, but if he starts to say stuff like, I want to go fight Noel McCallan, blah, 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 because that whole thing got messy the minute Mauricio Suleiman said, yes, we will strip him. Like he went public and said it, right? Well, to your point, how are you? Okay, so we're about to have the hockey Stanley Cup finals and the NBA finals, right? How would you like it, Clay, that in 2 weeks, we find out who the winner is, but then by some weird ass rule, by the league, they go, well, technically, because blah, 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 we got to strip them of their championship. Dude, we just saw with our own eyes them win. So they're obviously the champ, right? And this is the bad place that boxing's in, to your point, where if Noel McCallan decides to take the money and rightfully continue the negotiating process of fighting Jai Apataya, his Ring Magazine rating doesn't go down.
Right.
He's still ring ranked, whatever he is, right?
Right.
And now, how does the WBC justify it being a vacant belt? They can't. The IBF is having a hard time justifying Jai Apataya's vacant belt right now. They're talking about David Nika fighting Floyd Mason, and the winner of that will fight Vidal Riley for the vacant IBF. Claymore, the same David Nika that Jai Apataya sent to the hospital a year ago, bro, against Floyd who? Floyd who, bro?
I don't know who he is.
And the only person I knew out of that whole group, other than David Nika, was Vidal Riley.
Right.
Mainly because he's a YouTube superstar, bro. I mean, shout out to Vidal Riley. But can you honestly look me in the face and tell me any one of them would even give rounds to Jai? Bro, Jai will destroy all of them. And Jai already has destroyed one. So this is to your point. If they strip McCallan, you're no longer the champ. McCallan fights Jai. Jai wins. Jai is now the Ring Magazine title. Doesn't it form more confusion to the, I'm going to say confusion to the hardcore space? Because the casual sports fan space, all they're going to care about, all they're going to care about is what they're being told by the powers that be. And the powers that be are telling them that the Ring Magazine belt's the most important. So, Jai's the Ring Magazine champion. Shakur's the Ring Magazine champion. Inoue's the Ring Magazine champion. Usyk, as much as we want to kill him right now for that Rico Verhoeven.
No, we don't want to kill him. We want to kill the rep.
Well, that's
alive. You don't want to kill him.
He's still
you want him to live.
The Ring Magazine champion, right? And there's only 7 Ring Magazine champions, Clay. So that's going to be the growing narrative of that'll continue to push. But yeah, man, I'll follow your lead on this. I won't attack David Benavidez. I'll attack his team. Until I hear
we don't got to be right, because I still stand on my square, right? Like, I'm not going to defend. If you want to say he ducked him, I'm not going to sit here and defend him, but so much, right? But I will make clear my stance and say that contracts is a mother, right? And on the back end of watching, it's kind of like, you ever see those little commercials where or those little things on YouTube where they got the dog and they take the treat and they take like a fake little dog and they beat the dog, and then they try to give the dog the treat to the other dog, and the dog turns away like, "Hey, y'all, I don't think I want the treat. I think I'm good." "No, you sure you don't want it?" "Yeah, nah, bro, I don't know, bro. You just beat the crap out of that dog." You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming this is a message to me to stay in line, and I'm good. I'm not even.
So you're saying Virgil Ortiz is the little fake dog?
With Virgil right now. And we're going to keep your name alive, Virgil, as much as we can, bro. You know what I'm saying? But, he's been pushed out of, look at what's happening right now with Xander Zayas and Jerome Bucenis. Sebastian Pandora floated around doing his thing. He's holding an interim title. His career is on hold. He's on the shelf on the back end of a great performance against Erickson Lubin in a big face-off. He was at the top of the conversation of 2026. And now, he's an afterthought. David Benavidez doesn't want to play that game, right? So, listen, his hands are kind of tied from my position, from what I can see. He can't just, he only can do so much, and he's limited because he doesn't have a money machine in the PBC behind him. The PBC is not the money machine right now, right? So they're calling for David Benavidez to have a significant fight. They want to get him a belt. They want him to represent, the WBC wants him to represent. That's another part of the conversation as well, as far as that Mexican heritage and face of boxing. It seems like Mauricio Sulaiman, the WBC, is the guy who has the most leverage and who is the face of Mexican boxing, right? And it looks like the WBC's made their choice. They wanted to be David. You know what I mean? Canelo's getting ready to fight for that title against Christian and Billy, but he's on the way out the door. He's doing some things. They're getting him primed. They're getting David primed to take that spot. So his hands are kind of tied. It is what it is. And he like Jose Benavidez Sr. said, I got to keep my son active. That's what the name of this game is. We want him active. We can't have him sitting on the sideline. We can't have him, getting caught up in no political negotiations. My son needs to fight. And credit to Jose Benavidez Sr. I believe him, and I think Jones Intel confirmed he did reach out to Jai Opatai's team. He reached out to Turkey. He reached out to everybody and said, "Hey, bro, what's good? If there's really a deal, if there's some money on the table, if that's the fight you guys want to make, what's up?" And what is he hearing? Yeah, after the McKellen fight. Well, that's not going to work for us. Dmitry Bivol is giving us the gas face. It looks like he's going to fight Better BF next. And the WBO is putting all kind of pressure on him. It doesn't seem like, looks like we're number 3 possibly on the priority list with Bivol, behind everybody else. We're not doing that. We're not taking back seats. We're not sitting still no more. That's what we used to do when we was at 168. We keep telling you guys it's a new day for Team Benavidez. We don't wait for nobody. If the fight ain't at 175, we're going to 200. If the fight ain't at 200, well, I don't know. We're not staying still. My son's going to be acting. He's going to make money. He's going to continue to build his brand as the next face of boxing. He's top 5 pound for pound right now on the list. He's only going to be able to, it's time to work, right? It's time to work, bro. We want to get, some people are saying he's number 1. People are out here saying, Benavidez is the number 1 guy, right? It is what it is, but it just shows you why the buzz is in the air, why he's buzzing. We got to capitalize off that and work. So if it's collecting a title, if that's what it's going to be, it is what it is. And maybe they're leveraging it, right? Maybe they're kind of forcing the Jai Opataia conversation to a certain degree. Maybe this is their way of getting Turkey and Jai Opataia and Dana White to get off of Noel McKellen and be like, yeah, you don't want to sit here and go fight just anybody, then send us the offer. We'll gladly not take the mandate against Noel McKellen. Maybe this is similar to what they did with Dmitry Bivol, right? Take that WBC title, fight me or vacate it. Unfortunately, Bivol chose to vacate it, right? He's like, oh, that's how you're gonna play me. I'm out of here, bro. Maybe Jai Opataia, maybe Zuffa Boxing, maybe they changed it. Okay, listen, we're gonna send you the offer. Let's make the fight here. And maybe that we don't know, right? So many different moving parts here. But that being said, I'm going to move away from this for a second. That's where we're at on this. Let's talk about this card this weekend. O'Shaquie Foster, Raymond Ford. Going into this fight, we knew it was very close to a 50-50 fight. You were leaning towards Raymond Ford. I was leaning towards O'Shaquie Foster. To be honest, the scorecards kind of played it the way we were calling it, right? It was very hard to call fight. As we were calling the fight, it was just like moments for both fighters, moments here, moments there. But there was some experience that played out in the championship rounds that we have to, I think we both acknowledge. And the 10th, 11th, and 12th round is like, there it goes. O'Shaquie Foster, experience, been here before. Robinson Casasiao is a fight I want to reference to, where he lost the fight because he didn't acknowledge the optics intangible. And we're talking about when you're playing with judges, when you're not stopping fighters, you need to be aware of what the judges are looking for, right? You need to make sure you are doing what you need to do win each round. And I thought Foster did that, right? You saw him realize 30 seconds left in the round, I got to turn it up. You know what I'm saying? Certain parts of the round, I got to show dominance. I got to show I'm moving this dude, making moves. Raymond Ford was having his moments, but it seemed like when those championship rounds came around, he didn't really have the answers. He didn't realize how important it was to close out the round hard. You know what I mean? To take the round and not allow O'Shaquie Foster to do what he did, which was he took these rounds. Some might say stole rounds, right? But that was him. That was that experience. That was the knowledge of a veteran fighter, of a almost pound for pound fighter, right? That's a pound for pound attribute almost, right? To be able to do that. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, you called it close to one of the judges' scorecards. You had it 7-5. One judge scorecard had it 6-4, 8-4. Right. I scored it exactly like one of the judges, 114 even, right? And then there was one that was 118, 110 or whatever. Fair too. Like it's because that's what we were saying. The whole fight is, man, that might have been a swing round, or I don't know. Raymond Ford won the beginning, but then O'Shaquie took the middle. So it was very tactical, very close fight. Don't exactly know what Raymond Ford's gonna do at this point. Hopefully, Eddie doesn't just cast him aside, and do something with him. But yeah, man, I was gonna say that I want to shout out DAZN for finally starting to do like fights like this. I thought it's the whole tree in the forest thing, right?
Mhm.
Such a great fight. Not a lot of people on the casual sports fan side got a chance to see it. They're only going to hear about it from shows like this one. Yeah. But starting on July 1st, or July 4th weekend, they're finally doing Abdullah Mason TNT. Well, I just heard that they're also doing on August 1st on TNT. It's William Cepeda, Lamont Roach,
Right.
Raymond Murtaya, Robinson Consensus. So these are the fights. Like, the more they do this, the more the casual sports fans are going to know these names. I don't want to throw away Raymond Ford because I'm kind of high on his talent. All that happened was he ran into what it feels like to be fighting the second best, according to Ring Magazine, the second best 130-pound fighter, and then he came up short. And if it was a majority decision, it's not the worst thing in the world, bro. People lose. It's no big deal. He's lost. He's lost against Nick Ball. It's better to lose against Shockey Foster than Nick Ball, right? So, and then in terms of Shockey Foster, man, I'm with you because you're the one that, again, I don't know, weeks ago you spoke about how this has to do with, it's a cultural thing, right? It's like
you talking about the Shakur part?
Yeah, Shakur, the Shakur part. Yeah, Shakur and Shockey Foster, where it's like, yeah, I can understand why this might actually be like a really interesting fight. But to your point about David Benavidez, bro, the powers that be and the money and whoever's in charge, they're not going to be looking at. I don't think they will. Okay. I'll put it to you this way. I'm sure Zuffa would be more than happy to let Shockey Foster come to Zuffa and fight Shakur Stevenson at 135. They'd be more than happy to do it, bro. They'd blow Shockey Foster up, right? But I don't think Top Rank is about to let go two fighters that they own, Navarrete and Shockey Foster, have a Ring Magazine title, and the money implications that's involved based
100%.
on who the winner of that is. And it could possibly be like, look what's happening with Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois, bro. That's an exact example. Frank Warren has the rights to Wardley. Frank Warren has the rights to Daniel Dubois. We saw a fight. You're like, that's it. Wardley's done. I done told everybody, ha ha, Angelo. Okay, cool. But look what happened,
World class, Angelo.
Right?
World class.
but look what happened, though. Frank Warren, who's still his promoter, was like, the rematch got activated. Really, Frank Warren? The rematch got activated, or you want to hold on and wait it up?
You got to convince me they like Fabio. You got to convince me because
no. Here's the way. You know what? Now I'm seeing the bigger picture now, right? So the bigger picture is this, Clay. Win or lose, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury in November. Do you believe Anthony Joshua will quit, or do you believe Anthony Joshua continues on? I believe he continues on.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. What's a better fight than the get back between Daniel Dubois against Anthony Joshua for the title? Now, imagine a world where Anthony Joshua on Netflix beats the hell out of Tyson Fury and wins. Now he's ranked number 3 by Ring Magazine. Daniel Dubois gets the rematch with Wardley. Let's say Daniel Dubois does my guy dirty again. Now my guy's domestically dirty, so is Dave Allen. Dave Allen's domestically dirty too. All right. Doesn't mean people don't like him. Now,
sure. People don't love Fabio. They love him.
Yeah. Look at how big a Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua would be in a rematch, right? So I say that to say that one company in Queensberry owning Wardley and Dubois is the same as one company in Top Rank owning Shockey Foster and Navarrete. That's the fight that's going to be made, bro. There's no getting around it. I'm sorry.
There's one way around it, though, sir. And I have to
go ahead.
There is a way around it, sir. And the way around it is Turkey Al-Sheikh. It's the money. If Shakur Stevenson indeed has picked up this Zuffa Boxing deal, if Zuffa Boxing is willing to get behind this fight, as far as putting on a big fight that the people want, the money's there. I mean, listen, man. You know what I mean? Money makes the world go round, man. The prize fighting part of this game always seems to find a way to take a lot of common sense, a lot of practical thinking, a lot of logical thinking. The money comes in and puts Rico Verhoeven in the ring with Alexander Usyk. That's what it does, right? It changes a lot of the conversation. So, but I'm with you, man. It's definitely something we got to sit back and watch, because I agree 100% with you. What a big choice Top Rank would have to make in a situation like that, to where if there was a good amount of money put behind this fight, you got to look at that Emmanuel Navarrete fight and feel like that's the most logical fight that should be made. He should be chasing the number 1, number 2 lineal championship. There'll be one title floating out there with Anthony Kakachi. I don't even know if there's an argument that the winner between Emmanuel Navarrete and O'Shaquie Foster will make light work of the Kakachi. What do you call him? Anthony Kakachi, the Apache, the Apache.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And respect to him, right? We've seen what he did with Joe Cordina, respect to him. But I just think there's levels in this conversation. And I mean, I just don't see him winning that fight. But bottom line is, this close, 1 step, 2 steps away from an undisputed champion that will be in the Top Rank roster holding a lineal championship. That's enticing within itself, right? That's enticing within itself. But listen, the sauce is the sauce. And right now, just like Jerome Boots Ennis did with Virgil Ortiz, when he jumped into that ring, the space buzzed forever about it, right? That's why the Oscar De La Hoya got so much pushback for even acting like, you saw the zone even, what are you talking about, Errol Spence and Dallas Cowboys Stadium? If you don't get did you just see what just happened in that ring when they face off? Did you see how they rumbled? Do you see how the whole media space is buzzing? We're going to go Errol Spence and that. Who's paying for that? Not me. We want Errol. We want Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. And it feels like in the air right now, feels like even Tim Bradley, like, we don't want Navarrete. That's what Tim Bradley said. We don't want Navarrete next. We want Shakur Stevenson, O'Shaquie Foster. Are you crazy? So we got to see how it plays out, right? We got to see how it plays out. I knew once Shakur Stevenson stepped in that ring, he was going to come on the way he did. I saw the writing. I believed it in my heart. I'm like, he's going to walk into that ring if Raymond Ford loses his fight. And if he does that, how are we going to, as a boxing community, unsee that? You know what I'm saying? How are we going to unsee all of that? We saw how crazy it was between Foster and Raymond Ford. We saw that was those press conferences, and this one between Shakur and O'Shaquie, it's going to be off the wall. It's going to be off the wall, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, it'll just be interesting, right? Because it's just like what's happening with David Benavidez. It's about the powers that be. I understand what the people may want, but at the end of the day, bro, money Navarrete, I mean, unless you're telling me Shaquie Foster has a way out of that contract, they're going to tell him the most money we can get you is for you to fight Navarrete, who's not fighting right now because Charlie Suarez decided to go fight in San Francisco for Samson Liquids. And I'm going to be honest with you, big guy. We're going to have Charlie Suarez fight Lomachenko coming up here pretty soon.
That's what I'm hearing. Lomachenko's also in the division, and that makes it interesting as well. So that's a big fight.
The one thing I was going to throw out to you is that just pay attention to this, because you know how I like to say things and then they all end up being happening true. After the July 11th fight, depending on what happens, possibility, Charlie Suarez might sign to Zuffa. And if he does sign to Zuffa, maybe that's the reason why Lomachenko is saying my next fight is against Charlie Suarez.
Well,
it'll be a Zuffa boxing event.
That's a whole nother conversation, right? As far as where is Lomachenko going? He literally announces his return on the day his contract expires with Top Rank. Does he re-sign with Top Rank? I'm sure he could. I mean, it always looked like he had a great relationship with Bob Arum and Top Rank. They always stood behind him. They fast-tracked him. They always seemed to support him. But I don't know. Is that a coincidence that he pops out? He takes the whole rest of his, his contract off. He doesn't fight Tank. He doesn't get involved in that conversation. We don't know exactly what affected that Tank Davis deal from not going through. A lot of us, including me, maybe mainly me, I'm assuming that the PBC business model, the dynamic of that business model didn't work for Lomachenko, who was like, no, I'm not doing that. I just came off of making money with Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? I just stopped Cambosis, did what I did. I'm not playing I'm not doing this, no upfront money or low upfront money and back end money. I'm not doing that. It's not worth it to me. but maybe Top Rank had something to do with it. Maybe they got in the way of it, and he decided, I don't even want to do another fight underneath my Top Rank contract as is. So maybe there's a renegotiation that needs to be happening. But with Zuffa Boxing in the space, you got to think Vasily Lomachenko is very interested in his money right now. He's on the back end of his career, coming off retirement, back problems and everything. Like, he's looking for the paydays. And is there an argument out there to say that Turkey Al Sheik is what the paydays is, where the paydays are at, and Zuffa Boxing is a Turkey Al Sheik? You know,
no, I mean, it's TKO, anything that TKO is involved with, it's really a Turkey Al Sheikh, Saudi Arabia type of a deal. Clay, the more the space continues to try to get mad at you and me, like we're not trying to tell them actual news. I mean, I guess they don't want to listen to it, right? But no, it is factual that Saudi owns 60% of TKO. And it's very factual that TKO is in charge of Zuffa. So when you think about whoever Zuffa signing, it's really whoever Turkey wants to sign into the league, right? And in fact, even today, bro, like remember when Dana White a couple of weeks ago was doing a press conference, and then somebody said, hey, so obviously Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren are both saying you're not promoting Joshua versus Fury. Kind of interesting today that on interviews that Eddie Hearn, when asked about Fury versus Joshua, he said it's a done deal for November. And he said, yeah, it could possibly happen in the U.S. And really, if it happens in the U.S., you're going to have a lot of Brits coming over. Interesting how you're saying it's going to happen in the U.S. Because if it happens in the U.S., Claymore, there's only one promoter that can promote it to the entire space and make it bigger than what it needs to be, Stephen A. Smith and the whole bit. And that's going to be Dana White, bro. So Dana White wasn't lying. He just said, we'll see. Who's Dana White hired by, Clay? TKO.
Right. There's a lot. The money, people have to acknowledge that the prize fighting game is what it is. And the money's always ran it. People used to stand on and be so proud of it. But now you got somebody else outside the country with the money, man, and people want this to be about integrity and morals, and it's never been about it. It's not going to turn into it in the ninth inning, bro. It's about the money, and until they can get their money up, they're going to have to do the clapback Thursdays. They're going to have to push the propaganda and the narratives. They're going to have to try to get the boxing space behind the fans, behind them, and try to stir it up that way, because what they're not going to do is go on a negotiation table and pull out the bigger bag and shut all the noise down, right? Shout out to Warrior Class 9154, man. Appreciate the love, man, with the super chats in the building saying salute Claymore. If we can get Shakur versus Foster, can we get Tank versus Floyd Schofield Jr.? Put the fight on in my Floyd Schofield Sr. voice. Yeah, man. That's one of those situations, when we're talking about Gervonta Tank Davis, it's difficult for me. I don't know. I think we should be able to get it. I think it makes sense. But last I heard, as far as the Tank Davis side of the conversation was concerned, was Isak Pitbull Cruz. I was hearing 140-pound conversations. I wasn't hearing nothing about what was going at 135. I didn't hear nothing about Lamont Roach at 135 or any. I don't know, right? I don't know where Tank is. I'm being honest with you. Last time I heard about Tank, he had a warrant out again for him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know if that threw that off. But I think if the WBA stands on business, what we should see, worst case scenario, is Floyd Schofield Jr. fighting for a vacant belt. You know what I'm saying? Against somebody. I don't know. Even for the WBA, this is not profitable. An inactive Tank who's not fighting, it doesn't look like he's fighting anytime soon. That's not profitable for the WBA. So I got to feel like at some point, I'm thinking hopefully it's now, that they're just like, yo, as much as we want to, we got to take this off you, bro. Brother, we got to take this belt off you, bro. When you come back, we'll chop it up again, but we can't continue to do this, bro. We're losing big time. What do you think about what Warrior Class is talking about?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, Warrior Class is the type of fan that a lot of us are, which is we just want to see the fights, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, we already missed the window of Tank versus Shakur. And I say that because remember what I said, Clay? By the time we finally get Shakur versus Tank, when Tank loses to Shakur, they're just going to say he got old, right? The window was gone. Like, if we're going to do Shakur Tank, we should do it right now. But more people are talking about Foster versus Shakur within the space. Why, Clay? because the space knows Tank is a mess, bro. So, like
Yeah,
that's
but he's not even in a conversation because he's already shot the fight down himself so many times. So it's just like, yeah, he's not part of the conversation,
He's not, and he's not even a part of the Schofield conversation because I am starting to feel bad for the kid.
Right.
I mean, maybe I'm in the minority for this, but I'm like, the kid's young, he wants a shot, he's in the number 1 spot. Why not give it to him, right? And if you're the WBA, who, by the way, they've been taking it up a lot lately, man. Everybody's attacking him. They did that whole where Satsumi came out and said, I'm confused. I'm the champ, but I understand I'm hurt. So I guess Antonio Vargas is the champ. And then they're getting attacked for all the super champ. They need to do something, man. And maybe the Tank thing would be the first move of them going, that's it, Tank.
Yeah, put their foot down. Put their foot down, man. And the sanctioned bodies in general, just under the crosshairs of a lot of scrutiny. They're putting themselves in a position to where, especially the WBC, God, Mauricio, especially the WBC, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how does the integrity of that belt maintain itself when, whatever happened to the original mantra, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Well, that's not the case right now with these sanctioning bodies. You don't need to beat the man. You just got to be in somebody's pocket and they'll just take the belt off the man and they'll put you in they'll give you a what was that guy's name who fought Hamza Shiraz? Belchik, what's his name?
Alev Bejik or something from Germany. But I told you that Ben Whitaker would have knocked that dude out in 1 round too, bro. That guy did get knocked down in the first round. Bevo was just like, I need a little cardio work.
No, I'm talking about Hamza Shiraz's fight. I'm talking about Hamza
yeah. My bad. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Bevo's fight. But yes, him too, bro. Yeah. Vejik, Hamza's guy. That guy was trash.
Like Hamza's the champion, and you give him his respect because at the end of the day, we know what Diego Pacheco did. We know how he played it. So it was he fought the fight he had to fight. But at the end of the day, man, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? No, everybody was looking at it like, why is this guy in the ring with Hamza Shiraz, right? It is what it is.
And he was, and again, what did we keep saying, Clay? It's not our fault that we're having to call this because he happens to be ranked number 4 by the WBO. So don't get mad at us. Get mad at the ranking system. The ranking system put him at number 4. And the reason why he was fighting Hamza is because Diego Pacheco turned it down. So people keep missing that part of it, Clay. Like Diego Pacheco's talking now about how he'll smash Hamza. Why didn't you just smash Hamza in Egypt, bro? Like what's going on, man? I don't know.
I mean, it's all politics and it's business. And you know what I mean? It is what it is. You sit it out. You're waiting on contracts to come in. It's contract renewal time. I don't know. It is what it is. Shout out Warrior Class with the other super chat says, and since Charlo is being added to the Spence undercard, will that Spence versus Charlo fight come into play if they both win? Spence versus Charlo fight come into play if they both win. Well, it's Jamal Charlo, I believe, who's on the undercard. Spence is at 154, so I don't think that's connected so much. But speaking on Jamal Charlo, did you see the fights that they said might happen? No, bro.
No. Who was it? Who did they say?
Yeah, who was it exactly? Who was it? That's the question, right? Who was it? I think the most notable name I saw in there was Mike Zarafa. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Everybody else was just like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? And who's this guy? No. Jamal, no. Listen, he just came off of fighting Cornflake LaMotta. Okay? No, bro. No.
Who would you like to see him fight? I think that's a better question.
Caleb Plant, period.
Okay.
That's the fight. Make that fight. He slapped you in public. It was buzzing around the space. Caleb Plant is the fight. And after that, a belt. After that, jump in there with a champion, man. You know what I mean? The division needs you. 168 is buzzing. Do something in the division. Do something. You know what I mean? But fight Caleb. That's the fight, man. That's the fight for me. I don't see nobody else. You know what I'm saying? He's undefeated. He's an undefeated middleweight. He doesn't. These tune-ups don't even look like tune-ups anymore. They look like money grabs because he comes in, he gives you a Cornflake LaMotta, but on the back end of a Cornflake LaMotta, you're hearing, yeah, but the reason they're doing that is because they're setting up Caleb. But then Caleb loses, and then he disappears. He fights nobody. You know what I mean? No, bro. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. That fight doesn't Yeah, I'm not falling for the banana and tailpipe again. You know what I'm saying? Put him in the ring with somebody serious. I don't. Here's a tune-up. He was gone for a year. He needs a tune-up, and then we're going to get him. You're not going to get him shit because he ain't going to sign shit because he ain't going to fight nobody because he just came in and got his little bag. He's going to grab a little 200,000, 250, 300,000, maybe a half a ticket, and he's out of here. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not hearing that.
Right.
Warrior Class with the $5 again says, we love the passion, Claymore and Reyes. What's the point of having a number one top contender positioned to fight for the belts, but they avoid fighting the best?
I agree, man. I can't not agree with him. It's like, but you know what, Warrior Class, boxing is the only sport, other than it used to be college football, but now with the playoff system, it doesn't happen as much. It's the only sport where the number one contender like might never get a shot against the actual champion. Because in every other sport, bro, you got the number one, the two number one, the number one, number two fighting, you know. But
there's an exposing happening. There's an exposing happening in real time here with the sanctioned bodies. It's in real time. It's nasty work this year in particular. 2026 is just like WBA elevates Rolly Romero. The WBC is just running amok. It's just like they just do whatever the hell they feel like.
The Noel McCallan thing was weird, bro.
Yeah,
it was like, you're just gonna strip him? He doesn't even get a recess.
They strip Shakur. They threaten to strip Noel McCallan. They put Ryan Garcia, rolled him into a title fight. They skip Javier Herrera, an interim champion, roll Williams Zepeda right back into another WBC title fight. It's just nonstop. It's just, and you know, Mauricio Suleiman just happens to be a very vocal sanctioning body president or whatever he is, and it just gets worse when he talks. I'm convinced Mauricio Suleiman is detached from the real. He really thinks boxing fans are stupid. Like when he's having these conversations in these interviews, and he's like, "It's not about the money; it's the rules." It's like, who are you? Who are you talking to right now, bro? It's like you looking around like, you talking to me right now, bro? Are you serious? Even Chris Mannix spoke to him, and Chris Mannix was like, "Bro, no, bro." Like when Chris Mannix had that intense interview with him, and he was just calling him out, like, "Bro, no, bro, we all can see what's going on. We're not playing this game with you, bro. We wish you would just do like Gustavo and all those other guys do. Just be quiet, bro, and just do what you want to do." Like Al Heyman, just tuck off, and we don't know where you at, and just leave us to just criticize you and scrutinize you without ever hearing from you. Because when you open your mouth, it's even more diabolical.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I was just gonna say it's exactly what Dana said. He couldn't pay Mauricio enough to continue to do the job.
Yeah. I don't know how he doesn't see it, Angelo. I don't know how Mauricio doesn't see it. I don't know how he does not see how crazy he looks on these interviews. They're not hitting, bro.
So one of the points that we're trying to make, chat, and everybody's listening to us on replay, is that earlier this year, when there was people who would debate on why belts matter, right? One of the debates points, Clay, was, well, it helps you get more money. Well, not for Noel McCallan, it doesn't. Noel McCallan's about to get more money, and the belt is going to get taken away from him, bro. Like, so what's the value of the belt now if it's not even helping you get more money now? What's the value of it now, Claymore? Like,
because there's a long game. I see the play. The play is we want David Benavidez to have our belt. We want David Benavidez to be involved in the biggest paydays. We want to get, that's what WBC does, right? They position their belts to get in on the money. They sneak a belt in. They sanction the Usyk Rico Verhoeven fight, right? They find a way to get in there. And what they're seeing is David Benavidez, Turkey Al-Sheikh has a big interest in David Benavidez. They want to get involved with the purse. It's clear as day for me, right? My thing is, fine. Allow Jai to get the fight. He becomes a champion. Now we got a unification. You still get the money, but they feel like they have some control or some leverage, because if David Benavidez is the WBC champion, that means anything David Benavidez does, you have to work with us. You have to put us in the conversation. You have to do all these different things. But it's so corrupt. I don't know how people don't see a percentage of a purse being unsustainable. It destroys the credibility of the sanctioning body, because you can't tell me there's not vested interest when you're getting a percentage of the purse. So why would you want your belt around the waist of Noel McKellen, who's not pulling that kind of money, right? You want to take that belt off him as soon as you can. And of course, you want to put it around the waist of a David Benavidez, somebody who's shown you loyalty, who's worked with the WBC, who's always waited on the WBC, carried around 3 WBC interim titles for a whole entire campaign, right, through the division. He's proven himself. It is what it is, right? We got to build, though. It's about that time, man. It's about that time. Right? We do have a special guest who just popped up in the building, man, on that undercard, bro. I was actually segueing into it, so I'm happy he's popping up right now, man. We got him in the building, man. You guys been waiting on him. He's on the fly. What, you thought I was lying? Did you think I was lying or something? Shout out to Omari Jones in the building, man. Omari Jones in the building.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's good, man? How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great. How about y'all?
Man, feeling real good, man. Great fight card this weekend. We got to get your opinions also on the fights that were on there, but obviously you're just coming off of your, what is this, your seventh fight.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people were pushing. First of all, how do you feel? I have a two-part question. Number one, Can we talk a little bit about the camp going into this fight? What you were preparing for, what did you prepare for in the fight camp? And do you think you were able to execute what you wanted to execute in that fight? Or, did Diego Zuniga kind of like make it a lot more difficult? Because it looks like he changed his mind real quick, right? You changed his mind. You changed his mind real quick.
Yeah.
It was going to be another kind of fight. And here you are like, I'm going to have to cut this ring off again. Here we go. Same old show. But it is what it is, right? But speak to it. What did you prepare for in this? How'd the camp go? And what did you expect going into this fight?
With camp, we prepared for fighting forward, fighting backwards, staying in the center of the ring. And I feel like we established that in every single round. I feel like I was dominant. I felt great in rounds 1 through 8. And if anything, I felt like other than the knockdown, round 8 was probably my best round. So it shows my conditioning carries, my power carries from round 1 through 8. And the way I feel like I can go another 2 to 4 more rounds. And we also have to take into consideration too that I was supposed to fight somebody probably like Alan Sanchez, something like that. He was a top contender who had something like a interim belt in the past. And we were going to fight him, and then we got another call that he pulled out. And so it didn't even take us 5 minutes. We said, okay, we have a 9-0 guy in front of us. All right, let's do it. That's a great challenge. That'll be great on my record. Let's rock out.
Yeah, no doubt, man. How did you feel? In the second part to it is, how did you feel? Did Diego Zuniga throw you off a little bit with the change? Did you feel the game plan change for Diego Zuniga? Was it like, oh, here we go? Because you know why I'm asking you? Because when we talked last time, and I was like, yo, this guy's gonna be pushing the pace, man. I think this guy's gonna. You were like, yeah, but we also kind of ready for him to change his mind. You were like, he might decide to box. So I was like, oh, while the fight was going on, I'm like, Omari called it. He said it.
Yeah,
change his mind, bro. But how did you feel about Diego Zuniga? Was he disappointing a little bit in how he decided to fight?
Well, I would say not really, because I think whenever I knocked him down, it kind of woke him up early, like, oh, he's the real deal. And even in the face off, he was looking at me crazy. And then people wanted to know what was being said. I was like, what's up? He was like, he said, I'm gonna break you down. I said, that ain't happening. So he came in there thinking he was gonna dog me out or walk me down. And like I said, after the knockdown, after he felt my power and my speed, like it's totally different looking from the outside, looking in as well. The speed, the defense, my range, it's all on point. And he came to my corner afterwards. He was like, man, like Omari, he's tough. He gave me my props, he gave me my credit, and we took another W home.
100%. Hey, this is my co-host Angelo Reyes here. Angelo, Omari, man. Talk to Omari, man.
So, Omari, I've been looking forward to getting a chance to speak with you. I know you spoke with my colleague Clay earlier, but on this one, first of all, we want to say thank you for joining us. I know you were just on the Ariel Helwani show, so
Yeah.
you must be doing it. We must be so important that we were the second one on the call sheet. So,
Well,
so thank you.
I told my
Thank
guy
you.
Clay, I said I had one somebody had booked me right before, but I said right after this interview, I said we got you, we locked in.
Salute.
We appreciate it.
Man.
We appreciate it. So I wanted to I hope I'm not doubling because I didn't hear what Ariel's questions were. But in your martial arts background, right?
Mhm.
I have a black belt, you have black belt, and I was asking Clay, I was like, all right, let me see. How far did you take your martial arts? And is it something that you still practice to this day as you're doing your boxing?
I took my martial arts to a second degree black belt. So a second degree black belt in karate, well, Shotokan is a sensei. So I was sensei, which means teacher, in Shotokan. So I took it that far. I did karate from age 4 to 14. I was doing boxing and karate together at one point in my life, but then had to choose that one sport. Lock in on that. I chose boxing, and it took me around the world. So I think I made the best decision of my life by doing that.
Now, I'll tell you, and that's so cool. I'll tell you why I'm so interested in asking this question. I feel like up to this point, and you just got your 7 pro fight, but even when I was watching you in the amateurs, right? And congratulations on being our bronze medalist from the Paris Olympics. That was so awesome to see you do all of that. I feel like your footwork and your eye distancing kind of mimics
Yeah.
point karate. And
Yeah,
even when
yeah.
you throw, right? I was telling Clay when you knocked down Osuna Zuniga, I was like, hey man, I'm gonna ask my guy Omari Jones about this. Was that a little push-pull action?
Yeah.
Did I see you do a little push-pull karate move right there,
Yeah.
Omari?
Yeah, that was something similar. I faked the two as if I was throwing the right hand. I shortened it. He was expecting the right hand, and then I put my power on the 2-1. So that's definitely what that was.
I told you, Clay, that was a little karate punch.
Yeah, he was calling it. He was like, yo, Mari. He's like, forget the banger. He's like, call him the Karate Kid. I'm like, bro, I don't know if he's doing the Karate Kid, bro. I think it's bang. I don't think he's doing that. He's like, I don't know, man. Did you see what he just did? That was. I'm like, all right, bro. Well, when he comes on the show, you could ask him if he wants to do that. That's on you.
Right.
But,
Now, go ahead, Clay. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, man, the lead hand, man, bro. It's dangerous, bro. And that's got to be crazy to have those physical attributes, to be tall, have that reach. But people aren't seeing that lead hand, in my opinion, changed. That's what changed Diego Zuniga's whole thing, right? His whole thing was like, that right hand's coming every now and then. But damn it, that lead hand is killing me. They're not feeling this sauce that I'm feeling. I don't want to look crazy. I'm going to survive. I'm going to make it out of this 8-round fight. And they can say whatever they want to say at the end of it. I'm not letting this kid respectfully lay me out. Right. You know what I'm saying? With this lead hand. That lead hand, man. Talk to me about the lead hand, man, because you use it so much, but it's devastating. I think people think like you're like a Devin Haney type of jab. No, this is like a George Foreman type of jab. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole different energy, right?
Yeah, and it's crazy because I think if you look at all of my fights, I think all of the knockouts besides the body shot one, my second fight, or knockdowns have been pretty much with the lead hand. The left hook, the jab against an undefeated fighter, Baxter, another undefeated fighter this past weekend. So appreciate you for acknowledging that, and that's something we teach in the gym. I feel like the jab is the first punch you learn, and it's the first punch that starts the fight. You establish distance through that. You establish your timing through that. And once I get that established, man, and I get my rhythm, it's pretty much over with for anybody. And I feel like the people who are talking, they're not in the ring, and they pretty much can't do the things that I do in there. And it's like as I keep growing and as I keep building, I'm only on my 7th fight, and I feel like it's just only gonna get worse for each guy I get in there with. And as I step up against opponents, I'm gonna show that I'm gonna be able to do the same thing with these guys, and I'll be ready for that.
Omari, is it fair to say that the reason why, because some people will look at you, right? Not us.
Mhm.
We're big fans of what you're doing, and we see it. But But I'm sure in the gym you're working on all your arsenal. But is it fair to say that in the 7 fights, the reason why you haven't been able to show a lot more of the arsenal is because that jab is so good that people can't get past it, right? Because when we
Yeah.
were calling the fight, I was telling Clay, you know who Omari's jab kind of reminds me of? Is Jermaine Taylor. And Jermaine
Wow.
Taylor got
Right.
all the way to undisputed with
Mhm.
that jab, right? Is that fair to say you have more in the arsenal, but people can't get past the jab?
I would say that's pretty fair. That's a pretty fair assessment. At the end of the day, I did work my jab and I did drop him. I hurt him multiple times in that fight. And as you could see, he was in there to just be tough to try to go the distance. He wasn't laying down. He, if anything, he was throwing back and trying to stay in the fight. But as you said, I established my jab. I landed big shots. I landed clean shots. And I never let the outside comments get in my head of what they're saying. After the fight, I told my team, I said, I look great. I felt amazing. I felt better than my last fight. So as I continue to keep growing and keep building, I'm happy. It's kind of a good thing to take this kind of criticism. It shows that people look at you in a high standard, as a high standard, and
Mhm.
I take the good with the bad, and I leave the rest, out the way. The only thing that matters is what I think and what God thinks.
No, Mari, and that's another part of this whole thing. You know, what I mean, it's why I'm a big supporter and a big fan of what you're doing is because of that part. That the future of boxing, man. You got that energy, that mental toughness, and
Hmm.
the ability to look past all of the noise. And I sent you a message before the fight because I know that the space is buzzing and I'm out here on the ground, right? So
Yeah,
I'm pushing back at all this. So I had to let you know. And I sent you a message and say, bro, do what you do, bro. Do what you and your
absolutely.
team worked on. Do not allow, because even Eddie Hearn was kind of like, he kind of like pushed it towards him. We want to see Omari do. I'm like, hey, bro, I don't know what they're saying to you, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, you on your 7th fight, bro. If do what you do and be confident and happy what you did. So I'm glad you answered that question. I was going to ask you, how did you guys feel at the end of the fight? How did you guys feel? And I'm glad that in a leadership position too. Are you in a leadership position in your gym? You pretty much like the head of your gym, right?
Besides, of course, my coach, but
Right.
for me, I would say so. I mean, a lot of the youngins that's coming up, we have a lot of young ones in the gym that are pretty much, we have about like 5 or 6 that are top 5 in the US. So they're kind of trying to follow. They in the gym with me pretty much every day. They
Right.
follow in my footsteps, trying to get to the Olympics or turn professional. So I would say, yeah, definitely I'm a leader in my gym because they trying to follow the route that I took, and my in my position, I'm going to do the best way to lead them to that.
Yeah, it sounds like you embrace that as well. And the greats, the future greats, the big champions, that's who they are, right? Terrence Crawford, leader. I mean, even Xander right now getting ready to go into this big fight against Rambo
Hmm.
Tennis. You see his position in his gym. He's leading the pack. They're following him. You know what I'm saying? And with you, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Just the way you carrying yourself in this interview, just the way you kind of took control of it and told your team, like, man, we did great. I look
Yeah.
great. You're proud of yourself. You took that position, and that's part of the game, right? That's part of what makes a great champion. But that being said, I would ask what's next, because the reason I'm going to ask that, because you kind of hinted towards a possibility, right, of potentially getting on this Xander Zayas Duran Buta and his undercard. Is that still a possibility? Is that still in conversations as a possibility that we might see you on that card?
I would say no, just because of the fact that I took on this card. So it would, for me, it was either the choice of this card or the Bam Rodriguez card, and they decided to put me on this card because I believe Top Rank and Matchroom, they pretty much had to split the slots of the June 27th card.
Mhm.
So we're looking at, or back in my hometown Orlando in August.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And are we going to go? Are we going to go for another 8 rounder? Or are they ready to
Yes.
see you go up, or another 8 rounder? Okay.
Yeah, two. I have 2 more 8 rounders left this year, or whenever I have the fight. So 2 more 8 rounders, and then hopefully next year I have a main event back in my hometown Orlando, as a 10 rounder for the first time.
Omari, I was going to mention that. I really like how Eddie Hearn is purposely making you be a star in your own hometown, right? Grow you organically, right? And a lot of people, obviously, within that area has already known about you. Winning the
Absolutely.
bronze medal is no easy feat, as you know. Can you talk about how not only your parents being so involved with you in all aspects of your life, but how the Eddie Hearn thing kind of came about? Because he's been scouting you since forever, man. I mean, like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of like you were his Victor Wembanyama in a way. I gotta get this kid. I gotta get
Yeah,
this kid. And now that he has you, he's really doing right by you. Can you talk
yeah.
about that experience?
Yeah, well, first I'll start out when you had asked about my parents, they're definitely a big supported me from the beginning. Um, you know, especially with my dad, a lot of back and forth, uh getting me to these tournaments, getting me to nationals, getting me to the gym every day. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of gas money, a lot of money spent on tournaments and believing in me so much that they went into debt getting me to these tournaments. They said, you want to make this your dream and goal. We see you committed, so we're gonna make it happen. And years later down the line, I'm at the 2024 Olympics. They're in the crowd cheering me on. So it just shows, like, it's I'm not a overnight success. It may look like that, but man, I put in a lot of years to get to where I am now. And a big shout out to my parents for and a big shout out to God as well for allowing me and blessing me with a team like that. And to speak on Eddie Hearn, he definitely, I think he was scouting me even before the Olympics. People said he mentioned my name a few times, and the story that I always tell is that after my bronze medal match, and I received the bronze. Eddie Hearn was had DM'd me the day after that fight. He took a train from London to Paris. We met for some coffee. He met my parents, and he was trying to sign me right then and there. And we went over the plan. We said we're gonna stay busy. We're gonna have fights. We're gonna build in Orlando, and man, everything has came into fruition.
Yeah, man. Eddie's I told you before, Eddie's is a top dog on that traditional space. You know what I'm saying? Because we
Absolutely.
know there's this crazy thing going on. And shout out, I love watching Eddie and Dana. I love it. Eddie's my favorite promoter on that traditional space, right? But I'm also supportive of what Zuffa is doing. But it just seems just right. It seems right that those two guys will be bumping heads the way they are, and they're making a show of it. But Eddie Hearn is super passionate promoter. So are you happy with the experience thus far with it? Because I think Eddie's doing a great job with you. But are you guys? It sounds like everything is moving according to plan to what Eddie said it would be.
Absolutely. I'm extremely happy. I mean, I'm 3
Yeah.
and 0 and we're just about only halfway through the year. So this will probably be my busiest year. Um cuz if I have another, well, which I will have another fight, my fourth fight in August. So if I can squeeze in one more fight after that, that'd be amazing. And then I can start the year fresh out as a main event in Orlando, and that'd be um man, that'd be something for the city to show out and show up for, man. Maybe even y'all can come out.
Oh,
Yeah, no, for
I
sure.
definitely plan on coming out. Yo,
Yeah.
so 154, 147, man. Are we still
I was just gonna ask him
yeah,
that.
like
I
what
was
is it gonna
just gonna
be?
ask him that.
I
But
mean,
you know what? Before you answer that, I also want to say shout out to your uniform, bro. I don't know who the stylist is. I
Yeah.
liked what you came out with
oh
this
yo, that was
time.
clean. The
You
flowers,
usually you come out with like or when you're in Orlando, you do the Orlando Magic stuff, right? But that
Yeah.
one I thought my cousin's a streetwear designer. He's into
Yeah.
fashion and the
Right.
whole bit. And the way when you came out with it, I was like, is this a new sponsorship? Is this a designer? What is it exactly?
It was so it's interesting that you said the streetwear, because it's actually a art piece from a black artist who we saw in a that my brand manager saw in a book, and it was in New York City that he seen it, and then he showed me some of the pieces that she drew and that she made, And I pointed at that when I said we're gonna do this one, and that was kind of the inspiration. So we made the art piece into a uniform, and man, that was probably one of my favorite ones. It was clean for sure.
That was a good looking outfit. Yeah, you were definitely killing it
Man,
on that one.
that was sharp. But anyway, so is it 147 or 154? Let us know.
Uh, we still in the middle. That's why we haven't catch weights. But if anything, I would say I would lead to more towards 147, just because I'm making 150, 152 very easy. So I'm just waiting on my opportunity, man. If an opportunity shows up for me at 147 for whatever, an intern build, or whatever's on the line, I'm definitely open to it.
Yeah, I think you're a
Man.
terror. I think you're a terrorist at 147.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think you're literally, the thing about the way the traditional space is that, the risk reward thing, right?
Hmm.
I think you're gonna go to 147. And here, my fear is people ain't gonna want to fight you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Um,
absolutely.
because I mean, you're changing, like I said, I saw it. I saw Diego change. I seen him, I seen when it happened. I seen it. I was like, oh, there it is. And I thought immediately the conversation we had. I'm like, oh, damn, bro. You done knocked him out early. This dude is done. This dude got
Yeah,
on his bicycle. So I know the space has got to be seeing it. And 147 is it's a money division, right?
yeah,
154 is too as well. 154 as well, but
But 147 has
147,
always been known as the glamour division.
right.
So,
It's a glamour division.
yeah.
What do you think about that?
definitely. And I feel like right now in the state, I feel like everything at 147 is just kind of super quiet right now.
Right.
I mean, you have Devin Haney, who's the top dog at 147, but he hasn't fought since November, which is kind of like, I understand a lot of fighters, they want to land the Super Bowl with each fight, and they want to make millions, but my goal is to stay busy. And I feel like I don't really know, besides Devin Haney and Brian Norman. I mean, I know you have Jack and Giasov that just fought as well. Those are pretty much the only names that I really know. Um, so
Let
like
me
I said, it's open to be taken.
Well, let me hook you up though, because I agree. I think it's 147 seems one or two special fighters away from blowing up, because the champions are playing that game right now, right? You got Ryan Garcia holding the title, you got Devin Haney, and you got all these
Yeah,
guys who think they're superstars, and maybe they are, and they want the biggest bags of money. But then you got the Tiger Johnsons, you got the
yeah,
Rohan Blancos, you got all these fighters that are
absolutely.
also looking to be active. So I think there's a potential for some super fights, some great fights to be made. And I think you going down there, you know, I see you being active, you know what I mean, and building your name up. But I
Yeah,
do see the champion type of playing, maybe playing some games with you a little bit, because you, that jab, the way the pedigree, and you got a world class energy about you. And I say that because I know a lot of people are going to push back at me, like, he's 7 fights into his career, bro. You're a prospect. You're giving a world class. I'm just saying something about the Olympian
hmm,
pedigree
Right.
that translates so differently in the space. When you look at the Keyshawn Davises, when you look at the Lomachenkos, when you look at even the Shakur
Shakur.
Stevensons,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? The Shakur Stevensons, they translate so well. And I see your your Olympian pedigrees translating into the pro space in a way to where it's looking like, how? How are you
hmm,
going to get past this kid? What are you going to do with him? He hasn't even, like Angelo said, you're working behind your jab right now. You haven't even gotten they haven't been able to figure out how to get past the first stage level boss on
yeah,
probably a 12 level boss game, right? They can't get back that first level. So, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you get past that? And then what comes behind that when you do get past that? And I'm going
yeah.
to ask you, what comes behind that? Once they get past that lead hand, once somebody finally figures out how to slip it a little bit, maybe they're stepping around you a little bit. I don't know what they do to figure it out, but what's behind that? What comes behind that lead hand?
I just gotta wait and see, man. Yeah, I
Oh
just gotta
man.
wait and see. I definitely wanna uh show the bag just a little bit more, just because, like, if you look at my fights, like, these guys, as you to your point, Clay, like, he came, even the last fighter, Christian Gomez. He came in the fighter meeting. He said what he was going to do. He was going to make it rough. He's going to make it tough. And he couldn't get past the jab. He couldn't get past my combinations. And it's got to be something else behind it. It's got to be some power that they're running to as well, because they don't want to come in. You know what I
Nah,
mean? So, and then with what is it, Asuna, it was the same thing. He said he was going to come in tough. He was going to break me down, and I just stopped him in his tracks. So it's a lot of factors that I'm doing in the ring that others may look on the outside and may not see, but trust me, my opponent definitely feels and sees everything. That's why they're cautious on the way they step to me.
is it safe to say it gets worse behind the lead hand? Like it
Definitely.
just compounds. It gets worse and worse and worse.
Definitely.
That's
It-
crazy. I'm gonna
I
go
would
back to
say
Angelo to do.
I would
Go
say
ahead.
Yeah.
if you look at I would say, for example, if you look at the Baxter fight, Jerome Baxter, if you
Mhm.
saw, that was, I felt like, what was it? He was 7-0. I dropped, to your point, I dropped him with a jab, but whenever he came in, it was lightning combinations that came his way. And I feel like from that point on, since that fight went the distance, it's just been this narrative that, oh, he just does this, he does that. But if you look at the actual fight, you saw a lot of punches being thrown. And over the course of 6 to 8 rounds, I only got hit 10, 20 times.
Right.
It just, you know what
And
I
I
mean?
would argue it was, yeah, I would argue it's closer to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really, because he
Yeah.
spent so much time on his back foot trying to get away. He was super defensive and just trying to survive, get off the rope, get out these corners,
Right.
and bring the fight back to the center of the ring. And you were doing a good job of cutting the ring off as well. You were just making the ring smaller for him. Just great work in there.
Thank
Go ahead,
you.
I was
Angelo.
gonna say, so Omari, I believe, I know you're listed as 5'11", but I actually think you're closer to 6 foot, maybe even a little
He's
bit more.
6'1".
6'1".
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like, dude, we deal with this all the time. What
Yeah.
Boxer puts out
No,
versus,
Boxer got
right?
6'1" now. They got 6'1"
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So with that height going down to 147, if that's where you're gonna settle, which is, as you said, it's the glamour division, right? When you decided to go to boxing, was it people like Tommy Hearns that you were watching, or was it later? Like, were you paying attention to Paul Williams or some of the taller, or did you watch someone that was tall and say to yourself, "Yeah, I kind of want to emulate my boxing game a little bit like that"?
First person I ever watched in boxing was Muhammad Ali. That's where my footworks come from. That's why if you look at even my amateur fights, and when I was growing up, I was always able to move and get out of trouble. The second fighter I watched was Roy Jones, just his
Oh
total
man.
package of athletic ability, and then the third one was Floyd Mayweather. Then that's when I kind of got into Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, and then I just started, diving deeper in Jersey Walcott. You know what I mean? Like I really go in my bag of fighters. You know what I mean? And I'm really like a student of the game when it come to this. Like I really love eat sleep like boxing. Like I go in the bag for sure.
Who are you who are you
Great.
currently watching right now? Like when you're going back to, just, how like we do this every once in a while. I know
Mhm.
I do, like on a daily basis. I'll always pull up an old fight, right? Or maybe something just came up, right? And that's like, oh, I want to see that again. Who are you currently watching right now?
Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard Hopkins,
Yeah,
the
that's somebody.
executioner.
That's somebody who I actually had hit up. I met him in Orlando back in December, and me and him been locked in ever since. So I sent him my fight. I'm waiting for him to give me a breakdown on what he thought. So I would love some insight from a legend, and y'all will see some of those improvements and what he had to say about everything that I did as well.
It's amazing. You
Man,
went down the right list too, man. Roy Jones Jr. is hands down my favorite fighter of all time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, all time. I don't care. Yeah, he's a guy. I give him so much respect because he brought me into the space as far as, I was watching boxing as a youngin, but I was forced to watch it, right?
Mhm.
Poor. One television in the house, two black and white TV
Yeah.
in the living room, and not to expose my age, but whatever the grown folks watch is what we watch, right? And I happen to have some uncles and some people who that's what they watch, so we had no control over the TV. So I watched a lot of Mike Tyson growing up, but I was kind of forced to watch Mike Tyson. As crazy as that might sound, right? I was like, but I love what I was watching, but I didn't have no choice. Roy was my first. I'm choosing to watch this dude. I could be in my room by myself. When I got my own TV, I was still watching Roy. So man, to hear you bring up Roy is crazy. Muhammad Ali makes complete sense with the jab. You know what I'm saying? That jab, that lead hand, and then Bernard Hopkins and all those other names you said, man. That's what makes you an intriguing fighter to watch, because I can 100% see how cerebral you are. You are a thinker. You're very articulate, an Olympian, the way you carry yourself, and then follow it up with the performances. Yeah, man, I think the future is going to be crazy. I think people are sleeping. If they sleeping, they're bad. But if you're smart, look, Ariel Wani picked up the interview. He knows what he sees. He's not crazy. People see what it is, man. Super talented fighter, bro.
Appreciate you for that, for seeing it and seeing it, because a lot of the either the commentating or other comments, a lot of people just have a narrative, and they hear somebody say something and they run with it. So I appreciate you for acknowledging me and acknowledging the skills and everything. Appreciate you.
No, definitely.
Hey, Omari, I want to talk Olympics with you a little bit. So it looks like Verde, who was in the Olympics with you, he left. He's already looking like he's going up in weight. And Nishan Dev, he looks like he's going up in weight. So with you going down in weight, that would actually be pretty cool to see you dominate a division like 147. And I know some people are going to say, man, here goes Reyes saying the word dominating. But you already talked about how you guys have a plan, right, with Eddie. And then you said going into the start of the year, then you could really start ramping it up, right?
Yep.
Does it help you? And do you already see kind of a plan with Eddie, since Eddie also has, the Lewis Crockers, the Patty Donovans, and you being the Olympic bronze medalist, traveling is not a problem for you. You will go anywhere in the world and fight. But are you already starting to look at that? Are you already starting to look at that landscape and saying to yourself, yeah, 2027, man, I could see myself fighting these guys?
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, because I just the only reason why I knew Giasov and Catterall was fighting was because they were on the Usyk card. So I was like, oh, this could be a potential fight for me on my division. So let me tune into this. And Giasov, he actually struggled with Christopher Gomez that I fought. He was hurt multiple times. I think even dropped. So it's like, if these guys are struggling with who I'm dominating, then I feel like 147, like it's gonna be trouble. What I mean?
Oh
So
man,
it's like
you're going to 147. Okay, you're going to 147. He's lying too much plotting going on. He's going to 147.
You know what it is though, Omari, is because when I started to look at the matchups, right? Like, and again, might be too early for me to say, Clay, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just looking at stylistically and with what Omari is. He's a cerebral person who already has an Olympic bronze medal. So I'm high when you get the silver, the bronze, right? When you got that Olympic pedigree. And there's a plan, Clay. I like the plan. I like that they're going another 8. Then your homecoming this year will probably be a 10-rounder is what I'm going to guess, right?
Next year.
Ramp you up.
Yeah, next year.
Next year, right?
Yeah, probably beginning of next year. I finished a year out with 2 more 8-rounders.
Right. So let's imagine summer of 2027, Clay. I'll look at a name like Rocha, Curiel. I kind of feel like Omari's got the style that could dance
I think Omari gonna chase some people. I think you're gonna see some people go to 154. I think some people are just gonna get out the way. I'm telling you, bro. Watch, man. You're gonna see some people like, really? You going? Why are you going now? Like, you ain't even doing that. There's gonna be that's the type of talent that you bring moves people around, makes people think about what they really want to do with their careers. That's how I see it, right? They see you come in the divisions like, hold up, it's kind of like Moses Atama a little bit. Like Moses got people thinking like, what I mean? People thinking like he don't got that many rounds and whatever, but nah, bro, he's a problem. And
he's explosive.
Yeah, look at how Philip Ergovich is acting right now. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, I'm going to talk to my management. We're going to make sure. What do you mean? You got signed to fight him, bro. We're not trying to hear that. But they're going to fight. But 100% I understand the hesitation to be like, do I need to? Do I need to fight him right now? That's that's the kind of conversations that you're going to be stirring up in the division. So, look, man, O'Shaquie Foster, I want to go into like a little bit. Let's have some fun real quick because I know you got to go soon. But O'Shaquie Foster, Raymond Ford, did you get a chance to watch the fight? Did you stay and watch the fight at all?
Absolutely. I was ringside right there, man. It was a great fight. It was a chess match for sure. I feel like the chess match lasted probably up until the 7th, going into the 8th, just because Ford output decreased a little bit, and Foster's output increase, and basically stepping up the tempo. But I think what's the name? Ford, he came to fight too. It wasn't like he backed off. It was just the last like 5-6 rounds. You can't, in that kind of fight, those championship rounds mean the most. So they both some warriors, and they both some dogs, and it was a fun fight to watch.
What you think when you saw Ford fly out the ring like WWE, like he was going,
I was right there. I was right there trying to save him or help him up, but it was too late. I think in that sense, I don't think Foster did it to throw him out the ring. He might have just like he did a light push to like put him on the ropes just to like show his strength. But it was Ford who kind of slipped through the ropes. And I think when they touched gloves when they got back in the ring and the referee talked, I think Ford understood that as well.
Right. He flew out that ring. That was kind of crazy, man. I'm glad he didn't get hurt. It could have been, on the wrong side of the ring near those tables, those judges, or it could have been a way worse scenario, right? Like it was
disappointment. It could have been a disappointment
early.
Sure, yeah.
Right. Yeah. There was a shootout on your fight, man. Javon Woodard, bro. I don't know if you saw. That was what'd you think about that? Miguel Flores, Javon Woodard, man.
Was that the fight right before me?
Before you.
Yeah.
That
was right before you.
And that's why I'm asking, right? Because you got to follow that up, right? It's like, God, good Lord, these are trying to kill each other in there, bro. I don't know what we about to do.
Yeah, I think Flores came in as a big favorite. I'm not really too familiar on his fights, but I from what I looked at, he was on PBC a few times. He was a top contender, and he's been around the way. And Woodard, he was pretty much a upcoming guy out of Atlanta, and he was the underdog. And I texted him after the fight, and I seen him afterwards. I said, "Man, congrats! They had you as an underdog, and you came up and you turned up." So I'm sure Matchroom or somebody is going to be looking at him after that performance. And me and him chopped it up a little bit as well, and just talked about just the whole fight, the whole situation. And I'm happy for him.
He had like a whole Brian Norman Jr. Giovanni Santillan moment. Like it was like that's what I was thinking about as I was watching the fight, the Giovanni Santillan and Brian Norman Jr. when they fought, where it was like Brian Norman was supposed to be like the stepping stone for Giovanni, but Brian Norman just had a different plan. Like, nah, bro, actually, this is my night, bro. If you're gonna stand in here and trade with me, we're gonna go back and forth. But at the end of the day, the picture was Brian Norman Jr. taking his pose, looking at Giovanni Santillan, trying to pick his face up off the floor.
Ooh, that was ugly. Ooh.
It was nasty, right? It was like, you staying in here with me, you think you're gonna do this with me. And I feel like it was the same thing. Like Miguel Flores thought he was gonna do that with Woodard. Woodard was like, bro, you ain't gonna just keep taking these damn right hands, bro. I promise you ain't gonna keep taking it. You better move around. Okay, you get me to the body. This is looking good, but I know I'm breaking you down and you need to move around or I'm gonna stop you. And he did.
I was gonna say away from the card, Clay, you're wearing the Venom gear. I know that Venom is your sponsor, and you can't wear the Venom gear without me asking you a martial arts question. So, as a martial artist, do you watch the UFC? And as you know, Venom is the big sponsor of the UFC. And if you do watch the UFC, who are the fighters that you're kind of watching right now?
I'm not the biggest UFC fan, honestly, just because I'm just so locked in on boxing. But John Jones was definitely my top UFC fighter. Anytime he fight, or what's the guy name that the Spider?
Oh,
Anderson?
Anderson Silva.
Yeah, yeah,
Anderson
and
Silva.
Anderson
Yeah.
Silva, and the other guy that lost to when he did the thing
Oh,
when he knocked him.
Israel.
Poatan.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Israel's Adesanya. He
Israel
yeah,
likes
or
Israel
Poatan?
Adesanya.
Israel, right?
Because
yeah.
Poatan is
Israel.
the one that does this,
Mm.
but he
Yeah,
likes Israel.
yeah, Israel.
Okay.
Yep, when he did that, when he knocked him out. So if those three guys aren't wasn't fighting, then it's like, and like, or Conor McGregor, but pretty
Right.
much, yeah. I'm big on boxing, but I keep I tune in whenever it's on TV, but I'm
Right.
not the biggest fan.
Well, I
Mhm.
bring it up because there's a guy right now who's basically calling every boxer out. He's the pound for pound best UFC fighter. His name's Ilya Tapura. So if you ever hear him talking about how he's willing to fight any of these boxers, right? He believes he can beat Ryan Garcia. He believes he can go in there and beat Canelo.
Go
You
get
might
your
want to
money.
say,
Omari,
I'll be your Huckleberry.
go pick up the
I'll
bag,
do
man.
it.
Just real quick. See, I was saying, step off to the side a little bit and buy your mom that house that you were telling her you're gonna buy. Real quick. Just
Right.
handle
Who?
that and then come back.
What's his weight class?
No, so here's the thing about Ilya Tapura, right? Ilya Tapura was the 145 champ, moved up to 155, knocked out Charles Oliveira last year, became the 155 champ. He's defending it at the White House against Justin Gaethje, and then after that, he's moving up to 170. Now,
Mm,
he's a short guy, Omari. You're much taller than him,
right.
but he fills out. But the whole shtick on him is he is the martial arts of boxing for the
Mm,
UFC. Now, you always talk about how boxing is a martial arts. So
right.
I'm thinking Omari Jones versus Ilya Tapura could be McGregor Mayweather money.
Hey, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, man, Omari, man, I appreciate you, man, because we'll hold you up here all day long. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you will. I'm telling you, you will, bro. And I told you that the first time. I'm like, anytime you feel like it, let me know because we will OD, bro. I'm looking forward to your next fight, bro. I'm looking forward to the next interview, man. So many different things. I'm excited for you, bro. Seven fights, undefeated, man. You got so much in front of you, bro. And I'm gonna be glad to be calling all of it. We called that fight too. And I'll be looking forward to call the next one, man. Thank you, bro.
Sure thing. How was how was the commentating when y'all was able to do it when y'all was commentating live?
Yeah, we
Oh,
don't
great.
listen to them. We listen to us. And our
Got
commentating was
Yeah,
fire.
we don't listen. The sound is off. We're calling it.
got you.
No, I was calling it, bro. I love I love. You know what it is, though. I would say, and who am I to offer any type of it? I mean, you just sent Bernard Hopkins
Yeah,
your video, bro. So
yeah.
take this whatever it's worth. The body work. I thought maybe the body could have been touched up a little bit more, especially
Definitely.
with somebody who's trying to get away from you like that.
Definitely. I said the
Like I
same
said,
thing to myself too.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
no,
I'm not crazy.
I mean, for me, Omari, with the coaching background that I have, I thought what you were doing was great. I saw everything that Clay saw in Osuna, where he kind of froze, and that I felt like actually for me, I felt like one of the best things you did that night was to not get away from your own discipline. Like I
Right.
felt like you were staying within your own discipline of what
Mhm.
you were gonna do, and you
Right.
weren't gonna let like you know how a younger pro fighter, especially coming from the amateurs, who's trying to convert it into a pro
Mhm.
style, they'll look for a knockout too early.
Mhm.
And I saw you did not do that at all. You because there were moments you hurt him,
Yeah.
and a rookie fighter would have like jumped on it, and
Mhm.
maybe a headbutt could have happened
Right.
or unnecessary
Absolutely.
grabbing. And I felt like you really stayed within your own discipline. Very black belt like of you. So I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
and for real, because a lot of most I've seen it. I'm not gonna say no names on here, but I definitely have one on the top of my head for sure. You did not allow that pocket to collapse. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you didn't
Mhm.
allow him to tie you up unnecessarily. You always
Mhm.
control that range and just
Mhm.
was patient and work behind that range. A lot of people jump in there, start flying off with crazy lead hooks and I got him out of here. And then before you know it, he's tying you up and it turns into that type of a fight.
Yeah.
Like I said, the pedigree's there. You see, it's a world-class pedigree about you, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
So
I gotta go
but
back.
that
I gotta go back and watch the commentating now.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If they didn't do it as good as us, then you'll already know.
I know they didn't. They definitely didn't do it as good as us. You'll see when you watch it. They didn't do it as good as us. I mean, I'm already seeing somebody here saying they were like, he needs to learn how to put it together. Yeah, see, that's what you were dealing with as you was fighting.
Oh, that's what Sergio Moro was saying, and all those guys.
Because they want to see. They just want to. They want to see you stop
terrible.
people. And I get it, but at the same time, as pundits in the space, you recognize what you see, man. Call what you see. Be honest.
Absolutely.
The boy running. He changed his mind after he got knocked down, and my guy is cutting the ring off. He's touching them bad. He's putting it. You know what I mean? He's putting on a masterclass, bro, on somebody who does not want to engage. Shout out.
Yeah.
Even like when you look at Jerron Boots Ennis in the first Karen fight. People really got at Jerron, but it's like when I think Bozy said it best. When you got a skilled fighter who's decided he's not going to fight, he knows how to move around that ring, get away. No matter how much you cutting that ring off, and you cut it off, you did what you did. But I mean, he didn't want it anymore. It was over with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, you kept your position, Omari. You kept your position, and like I said, that's why I asked you about even the point karate style, because I felt like you were hitting him, and every time you hit him, he felt it. And just like what Clay said, Clay already, I think it was in the first round, Clay was like, "Ah, no, here we go."
I saw it, but as soon as the knockdown happened, I was like, he changed his mind. It's over with. And I thought I just remember talking to you about that, like that.
Yeah.
Nah, he might not do that. Don't think he's gonna do that. I remember you, because I'm like, he's gonna come for you. Like, but then again, he might not do that. He might actually change it all up. But we'll be ready for whatever you want to do. It's cool. If you want to come forward.
And if it ended that first round, they would have had something to say about that too. So you know how that go.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to boxing, baby.
Yeah, listen to our commentary. Don't worry about Zone's commentary.
Hey man, I appreciate you, Omari. I don't want to hold you up. I'm trying to be. I know you got. Trust me, I will hold you up. So I'm gonna let you go. Shout out to you, man. I don't know if you want to tell the people your social media, what you got going on. I know you got what you call it?
Foundation.
A foundation.
Yeah, the foundation. And talk about the gym too, Omari, where your gym is at and everything.
Okay, yeah. So my gym is it's gonna be, my gym name is School of Hard Knocks. And that's where my boxing camp on July 25th will actually be held at. And you can go to my website at omarijonesfoundation.org. You can donate and sponsor a kid for the boxing camp. And you can follow me on Instagram at Banger Put DEM Them Pause. Banger Put Them Pause.
No doubt, man. Salute to you, Omari Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Great. Peace.
What a great kid. What a great kid.
He's what we talk about, right? We talk about, this is what we talk about when we talk about the future. You know, even involving an Abdullah Mason or Xander Zayas, that group, the Shushu Carringtons, it's like the same group, right?
Yeah, he's in that pocket, and again, I think that we hold everybody accountable, right? So when you're doing a good job, and we're saying this, Eddie Hearn, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job with Omari Jones. You're bringing him along the way he's supposed to, and I didn't think about that, Clay, but you might be right. By the time Omari starts challenging at 147. Some of these dudes might be like, it's time for me to move up to 154. So
the weight cut getting kind of hard. This kid is not going to make a name on me. He's not going to come and step on me.
Right.
I'll fight him at 154 when he's like 18, 25 fights into his career, and the loss gets respected. Like, hey, that's the great Omari Jones. But I'm not going to just come in and just clip me.
Right.
No, I'm not going to be the first one. Let those guys, there's people over there to deal with that, not me.
Right. No, he was very enjoyable, very open, and very well spoken, man. That guy, I could tell he's a black belt martial art, like the way he's speaking, very, very proper and everything. So I like him. August, he said, Clay. August is the next one. August. So.
2 more 8-rounders, man. 2 more 8-round. And I shout out to Eddie Hearn, moving him like Eddie got one, and he knows it, and he's moving him accordingly. He could be fast tracked. He could be moved faster than he is, and potentially stumble. Eddie knows what he's doing, bro. Right? Eddie's like, no, we're gonna take our time with this one. We're gonna move this the right way. Keep on doing what you're doing. You got another 2 more 8-rounders next year. We're gonna jump into the 10-rounders, and how do you feel, man? He's going to 147. I thought
I love that he's going to 147 because
Me too.
I mean he's tall. That's why I had the Tommy Hearns reference, but Nah, man, he's watching. I mean, Bernard Hopkins, if you're calling Bernard, bro, that's awesome. Bernard, the one thing I tell you about Bernard from my experience being around Bernard, that boy will talk. He will talk your ears off. So, Omari, when you call him, just get ready.
I was actually glad to hear that he's talking because Bernard been out of.
Well, he doesn't talk about Golden Boy, but I think he's.
Oh, well, hey, yeah, that's you. You see what you did? I wasn't even trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, everybody knows where we're going with it. All right, look.
I was just trying to be like, I ain't seen him. I ain't seen the OG. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that the OG's doing well and that he's healthy and he's still out here.
Hey, man, the OG might be coming to Zuffa, bro. You never know.
I don't know what's going on, bro. I don't know. He might be going to Matchroom. He might be going to Eddie. I don't know.
He might go to Matchroom. That's true too. Bro. That would be a good person to have at Matchroom.
Listen,
that'd be a good person to have.
He's alive and well, and he's still mentoring these fighters. We don't see him out there in front of the social media like we used to, in front of at these press conferences, helping to sell these fights. It's been all Oscars. So people have been asking. I think my guy Fighting Words with Bang, shout out to my guy Bang, put out a post the other day with a milk box with Bernard Hopkins on it. Like, have you seen Bernard Hopkins? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, everybody, Bernard is doing good, bro. You don't need to put the AB. They're not looking for him. He's good, bro. He's just chilling, mentoring Omari Jones. You know what I mean? That's what he's doing, man. It is what it is, man. Oh, my guy. Oh, man, another blessing.
Yeah.
Talk to me, coach.
Are you back, coach? Are you back from Belgium?
Back, man.
Yeah, he's in the firehouse. Look at the background. He's in the firehouse right now.
Nice. I don't know, man. That brick thing could have been in Belgium too. Like, I don't know.
I guess.
You ain't paying attention, man.
I pay attention.
Man. You ain't paying attention. Like you ain't paying attention.
Is the hoodie still over there to your left? Is the hoodie still to your left over there? The gray hoodie, is it still over there?
Yeah, it's right there.
I remember everything go. I know where things is at. When I come out there, I plan on coming out there some point. I'm gonna feel like I've been in the office. I know exactly where. I know where the bathroom at, coach. I'm good.
Man, we need you out here for a second, man.
No doubt. I want to come out there. I do want to come out there. So listen, man. This fight, O'Shaquie Foster, Ray Ford. We talked a lot about this fight, man. A lot of breakdown while it was right here on the panel. It's, by the way, the fight pass, so I hope you'll share. Did you do great? Did the parlay, are you good? Did the parlay do? How'd you do?
Well, you should know because me and you had the same bet.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So you came up, I came up.
Okay, just making sure. I didn't know because you didn't really confirm it, but you kind of did. I kind of felt like, I knew where you stood, but still, I just wanted to make sure you made the right choices, man.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the lock was the distance. That was the lock. And then, if you want to go into it more, it was O'Shaquie by decision.
Right.
That was the real bet.
So did it play out the way you saw it playing out? Not just as far as the decision, but just the cadence of the fight, the way the fight went from the first half, the way it translated into the second half. Did you see Raymond Ford falling off in those championship rounds? Did you see that was going to be where O'Shaquie kind of had his moments where he actually took the fight over? How did you see it playing out? Did it work out that way, or did Raymond do better? Or you're like, damn, I thought Raymond was going to really get dominated, and he really. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think, man, I hate to say this because I don't want to sound like a know-it-all, but my experience was O'Shaquie working Abraham Nova's fight. I had a lot, I got to see him up close, and I see him injured and see him like come back from it and see his conditioning late. And I also got to see Abraham Nova with Raymond Ford. So I kind of got, a gist of, even though Abraham Nova took the fight late, but I got to talk to Nova and I got to put like a little game plan together for him. And that was to press him and to get him late. But Nova didn't have enough time to train to have his conditioning up. And if he did, I think he would have did really good.
Yeah. Fight sport guy. I had to put him in mute.
First of all, give shout out to Raymond Ford. You have to give him credit because a lot of people are talking about how, the WWE move, him getting launched out the ring. That was like a dramatic moment. And
when you saw it, how'd you feel about it? Did you feel like, come on, O'Shaquie, or did you feel like that's just how it goes sometimes?
No, O'Shaquie didn't mean that. O'Shaquie wouldn't know that his his hands wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think it was Oshaki really doing that on purpose.
Okay.
Because it was kind of like behind him. He wouldn't know that he couldn't catch himself. But
there was a little bit of like momentum, like the way he grabbed him from the back and kind of spinned him. It just kind of there was this prequel.
Oh, he was being physical.
That looked bad.
He was letting them know, yo, I'm the boss here. He was letting them know. Yeah. But he landed awkward, right? Outside those ropes, he landed pretty awkward. And it reminds me, I think you guys were just talking about Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins would have stayed down. He would have took
holding his head.
Yeah, he would have took either the DQ win.
There ain't no blood back there, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop it.
Yeah. But if Ford stays down and can't continue, we're having a completely different conversation. But give him credit. He got up, climbed back in, and the rule is if you get knocked out or knocked down outside of the ring, you got 20 seconds to get back in the ring.
Right.
So now you can't be helped. He didn't get knocked down like Eddie. You could have grabbed him and picked him up and dusted him off. That would have been a good way. But I could see like people don't know the rules, so they're like, "Nah, you can't touch him." But no, you can't touch him if he get knocked down. He got thrown. He got thrown out the ring.
They didn't want to risk the disqualification or something stupid happening so they just played it safe. Like, get up. If you can get up on your own, just in case. You know what I mean? We're in Houston. You know what I'm saying? We got all these different things going on. Get up. We don't even want to touch you. We don't even want to touch you, man.
But, in all reality, he felt a little awkward and you could hurt yourself. A fighter's body ain't used to ain't prep for that. They're prep for punches, and they could take punches to the body, whatever. But that was an awkward fall. His back,
the wrist. I was scared that because he kind of braced himself with his fist. He didn't have hands or fingers. I was like, what if he but
then his back also was like curved when it fell. It was a complete. It was like he was flying, right?
It was blessings that he got back in the ring and didn't have any injuries. It was like you saw a lot of opportunity for some unfortunate shit to happen. Just the way he went out, the way he landed, the way the back went. It was just like, you already know Ben Whitaker would have went home.
There's a moment of embarrassment there, right? And he's not gonna tell you I'm hurt, right? He got a little too much pride for that. And fighters do that. Fighters don't always tell you that they're hurting, especially in real time. You got these guys' eyes hanging out their face, talking about I could continue. You know what I'm saying? So
you look at him like, stop it, champ, stop it.
But shout out to Oshaki, man. That was impressive. The win is impressive. The win against Ray Vargas, the win against Hernandez, the win against Fulton, now the win against Ford. All those been really, really, really impressive. But what was more impressive in this fight was, man, the process. And I wish I could film study this for especially for your channel. I wish I could film study so I could show like how how he initiated the exchanges and when he wanted them, and more importantly how he ended it when he wanted to, and it just shows like high level boxing. A lot of people can start like the interaction when the two collide. A lot of them collide, but these elite fighters, people like Oshaki Foster, people like Shakur, these elite fighters control when it begins and when they want it to end. And those spinning moves was like his way of terminating those exchanges. Hit them, level changes, probing, get into the exchange, and then finish the exchange by turning them or stepping back out in an angle. Him dictating his term of engagement. He was touching his gloves.
Do you think that the Robinson Casasiao fight is what came to mind, right? And I said he learned a lot from that fight because he learned the importance of optics, right? He understood, I'm going to make sure these judges see me have these moments. Like you said, he closed out the exchanges. When he was done with it, it was over with. You're not hitting me at the end of the judge is going to put this exchange in the books for me. Like he was snatching those exchanges and making sure there was a clear line in the sand about who's winning and controlling these exchanges. And I feel like when I think about that Robinson Casasiao fight, he won that fight, right? People say he got robbed, but the judges didn't see it, right? And maybe it was because he wasn't doing that. He wasn't closing out the exchanges. And it feels like he took that into this fight and made sure that this fight can be as competitive as it wants, as they want it to be. But I'm going to make sure that he doesn't steal my moments. My moments are going to be my moments, and I'm going to deliver it to the judges in a red bow, in a box with a red bow, and be like, put that in the box for me. That's one for me. And who has more of these moments each round is who's going to close. You could say I'm stealing the round. You could say whatever you want, but I'm not allowing him to take my moments away from me. Does that make sense?
Oh, most definitely. No, most definitely. Oshaki's he's not just only that fight though, because we're watching Oshaki before our eyes just get better and better and better.
Facts.
And remember, I after the Ray Vargas, I thought he was like, wow, this guy is amazing. And then he took a dip and it was like, hold up, with Hernandez scared me, but he came out of that. And he showed some punching power late. And he been rolling, been getting better and better. The Fulton was a total. I mean, I heard Fulton, and I don't want to say excuses, but what he was saying was kind of like valid.
Like reasons, like not excuses, but
reasons. Yeah. Like his reasons was pretty valid. But listen, you had to have a team. You had to have a team that knows what they're doing, and he should have the experience to know that he needs he needs a nutritionist, or he needs somebody to know how to cut weight, how to hydrate him. All that's part of it. If he can't get out the bathtub, and man, there's something happened there's something that happened in your diet that was off before you got to the point that you had to start cutting the weight.
I think he thought he was good because he's like, I've been cutting 1-122, and then I just did 126. He was like, I'm gonna make 130 easy. I'm eating cheese sticks. I'm having my life, right? And
that happens a lot. Hey, people sleep on that. That happens a lot. And and then what also happened is you see, like, it's famous what Roy Jones did, right? Roy Jones went up to heavyweight, put on some muscle, then had to take it off, and you see how that hurt him. And we have to, like, as fighters, they have to understand that the body likes balance. Sometimes fighters chase size and end up sacrificing endurance. And I think in the fluidity too, and the way that Ford recovered, his recovery to make 130, to me, Ford looked like a guy who might benefit right now to lean out just a little bit. He could make it. He could make it without. He looked a little muscular. He looked pretty strong too. He don't never usually look that strong to me. But he was hitting, even when he was hitting Oshaki on the gloves, he was moving him a little bit. He looked pretty strong. But carrying that extra weight was taxing his engine down the stretch. It's just the way you put it on sometimes. Sometimes, like you just said, like we're unfamiliar of this territory, so let me just put on this muscle
another comfort level too, right? Coming from 120, he probably felt great. Like at 130, I can do all this extra stuff, but not acknowledging because he did. The shoulders were defined, his back. I mean, he was looking like he was going to be a terror in there.
And also, my guy, one of the best Puerto Ricans I ever do it, Shakur Stevenson, right? Hey, sit your ass down, man. What the fuck is he doing? What the fuck? You don't see him, man. Like, you don't have an eye for this, man. You don't have an eye for this. You telling your man to do this pendulum bounce, and then he's trying to do it. You don't already see that his energy is already taxing. Now he's going to try to listen to this is unfamiliar territory. You have, as a trainer, you have to have an eye for this. But man, once that 4th, 5th round come, I started to see, okay, this is irregular breathing here. I know what, going down this road, I know what the 6th, 7th, 8th look like.
Right.
I don't need my guy doing no pendulum bouncing and keep taxing himself on his own. And then you got O'Shaquie you slinging these shots at you, right? No, man, sit your ass down. Let the trainer. And then I don't know if the trainer knew anyway. But the trainer said a couple of smart things. Like he said something about don't fall in love with the high guard. You know, he was in the high guard too much because as I thought that O'Shaquie would turn southpaw because it would take away. It would take the lead hand of Ford away because Ford liked to joust a little bit with the lead hand and like to fill the tempo out with it. So I thought O'Shaquie would take that away by turning southpaw, but no, he didn't take it. He didn't need to. He took it away with his rhythm, and feints. He was killing them with the rhythm, and he was freezing them out. O'Shaquie did awesome, and shout out to O'Shaquie's corner. Because they film study and they knew that Ford was going to get into that high guard. They got their shots off, and then they hit the corner on them on the angle to finish their combination, and that hurt Ford a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We got Coach Bernard Hackett up here. We got Fight Sports Talk from New Zealand up here, but without a doubt, I feel like there was also a pedigree separation in the corner work, right? Like where you have the O'Shaquie Forster team that was clearly, one unit. They had a game plan based for the fighter they had in front of them, and then you did see some shadows of just like, yeah, you ain't been here before from the other side, right? Between Raymond, between Teray, but still, shout out to Teray Stevenson for training at a high level like this, because this was a high level. This O'Shaquie Forster is like one signature fight away from being on the pound for pound list. Some people might want to argue that he should be there right now, but I mean, his next fight arguably is going to be with a pound for pound fighter, whether it's Emmanuel Navarrete or it's Shakur Stevenson. So he fought a high level fighter who's on the back end of beating Raymond Ford. O'Shaquie Forster has transcended the regular space, right? He is top level boxer now, right?
Well, before I go, I know you got other people. Wait, I just want to say this. If you write down all the skill sets of both fighters, Raymond Ford will probably have more. He's probably like the better fighter, right? O'Shaquie was definitely the and sometimes that hurt the people because you got a toolbox full of stuff. You could use everything. So like his trainer said, don't fall in love with the full guard, with the high guard, right? So he could do the high guard, walk you down. He could do the outside defense and box you, right? So now with him having all these tools, it gets confusing. You have to know who you're fighting and which one to use and stick with it, right? So O'Shaquie stuck with what he had going on all night. And also shout out to O'Shaquie's conditioning. It was superb going down the stretch, right? Because that's what really separated though.
Wait, are you about to go?
Yeah. Well, you got other people coming on.
So you about to leave?
What do you mean? Yeah, you want me to stay? I don't know.
Yeah, I want you to stay, man. We got more to talk about besides that, man. But look, if you about to leave, you gotta go. Is that what it is? I know. Listen, I know.
You said other people's calling, other people's about to come.
No, I'm talking about on the panel, man. Letting people talk on the panel because I definitely want to get your opinion on a fight, on his next fight. What makes more sense and what you think about the Shakur Stevenson situation, but hold on a second. Fight Sports Talk. What's good with you, family?
I'm here.
Doing good, man. What's up?
Doing good. Woo, you coming in clear and loud, boy. Let me put my volume down a little bit over here, boy. I ain't gonna lie. You good? What's good with you, man? What'd you think about the fights this weekend, man? I mean, I think you kind of called it very similar, right? You kind of thought that, this was gonna be a competitive fight, but I feel like you were leaning towards Forster a little bit, right? Or wasn't you? Where were you at with it?
Yeah, I picked Forster to win. Don't know why I came in so loud. I wasn't shouting into my mic, so
you just got good down here. That's all. You good?
All right. Yeah, I picked Forster to win. I thought it would go the distance because they're both kind of similar. They're both good in all areas. I don't know what it is about Forster because he's lost several times before, so this isn't like some undefeated future like pound for pound great of the sport that we look at, but he's just good in all areas. He's obviously pretty decent size for the weight class, and yeah, athleticism, speed, power. I don't know if he's the best in the division. We'll see what he does with Navarrete, and also see if Loma does come back, what happens there. But yeah, he was good. I don't know what that throw out of the ring was, because that was a very. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but you're right. I picked the fight. I picked Foster to win the way he did, where it's competitive, but Foster's just sort of one step ahead the entire time. I do feel, since it happened in the first round, maybe he should have lost points for that, because I think it's pretty difficult to say it didn't have an effect on the fight. But shout out to Ford, he didn't complain. So yeah,
right.
It was.
It was an interesting moment. It was a very interesting moment. I know Angelo went crazy when he saw it. Angelo was just like, "This is what the hell is this?" He was like, "This, come on." Angelo was, once Angelo focuses on his fighter that he's looking at in the fight, he ain't letting nothing go by him. So, he was going to let it slide. But it was a great fight, man. And as far as O'Shaquie Foster, I mean, leveling up, has he leveled up for you after seeing the way he handled his fight? Is he just in a different conversation now? Did he transcend any expectations or any views you had on him just as a boxer, man? And, maybe even seeing him as a pound for pound fighter within the next fight or two. What do you think?
I don't know if I'd put him. In fact, I won't put him on the pound fighter list yet. Now, before his fans come for my neck,
they're coming.
I think
they're coming.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime you say, well, here's the thing, and this is why I have not done greatest fighters of all time in MMA, because there's less fighters to go through than boxing. But I haven't done it because every time, even if I do a top 50 list, there's still greats I'm going to leave out, and their fans are going to get upset. But he hasn't moved up yet, and he also hasn't unified the division. Definitely think he can do it. Has he leveled up? I don't know, because Foster, he's just, again, I picked him to win this fight the way he did. I think he's just the same standard good fighter, again, good in all areas, well-rounded, that he was before. And his last couple of fights have been against guys moving up. He hasn't fought the other champions yet. So, again, he fights Navarrete. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, he's definitely got a chance. Again, for a guy who's lost several times, I don't pick him to lose anytime soon because, again, of what Bermudez was saying earlier, his conditioning, his power, the fact that he knows he's not like the Mike Tyson of the lighter division, so he just beats you over the 12-round distance, and yeah, he's got no mental weaknesses there that I've seen. So, yeah.
The mental fortitude is definitely there. I mean, with all the antics and everything that was going on through the press conference, you just watched him just be the more calm, the more poised, the more, controlled temperament. You know what I mean? Like he's been there before. And he definitely knows how to carry himself. Even in the aftermath with what happened with Shakur, he didn't even allow that to get crazy or, steal his light. He stayed on top of his game, wasn't the emotional one. Shakur lost his shit a little bit. You know what I mean? Obviously, we saw the way Raymond Ford was losing his shit during the build-up to the fight with the press conferences and even in the interviews. It just seemed like O'Shaquie was just very confident in who he was, and he wasn't going to let anybody steal his moment by getting him emotional. So he was definitely focused. I'm going to move on to Coach Bernard, Fight Sports. We'll be back around. Coach Bernard, how you doing? Are you there?
How y'all doing today?
Man, we're doing good. We're doing good, man. Coming off now we've all had an opportunity to allow the moment. I'm going to mute you for 1 second. We've all come down from Saturday, Sundays past, Mondays past, and I've had opportunity to rewatch the fight. And yeah, man, just I don't know if you rewatch the fight or if your perspective changed in any kind of way, or if you might have seen something different. And definitely interested in what you're thinking about the fight 2 days later.
I watched it again with my son. We'll watch it with the volume down, so we don't have any commentator bias interference. I think that That's the best way to see a fight the second go around. When I watched it the second go around, uh, I didn't see anything that either of them did wrong, Raymond Ford or O'Shaquie Foster. I just saw O'Shaquie Foster being two steps or two levels ahead of him. Raymond is a, if you're saying Raymond is a 7, then O'Shaquie was a 9. And that 9 blossomed through in rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it paid off in the last 2 rounds because O'Shaquie never got outside of himself. He never said, I got to get a home run ball. And I'm going to tell you the thing I thought that was, whether it was intentional or unintentional from O'Shaquie. When Raymond tried to take the strength route and kind of grab and move and twist, O'Shaquie said, When he slung him around, I don't think the intention was to sling him out the ring, but so be it on the intention. But the intention was to let him know I'm a grown man. And I think that's what happens a lot of times when you have young fighters going against veterans, when you have the guy who everybody wants to see lose, but not the guy that's coming in there to lose. You see their brilliant stand up. I think O'Shaquie Foster is a great fighter. I think Raymond Ford's a great fighter. I just think O'Shaquie was steps ahead of him. And then when I watched it in real time, I don't see everybody's talking about all his problems they had with Raymond Ford's corner, his young coach. I didn't hear or see anything that if he would have said left instead of right, it was going to change the outcome of that fight. I don't put him on an island and say he wasn't ready. I just think that the game plan that they came in to execute was not good enough on that night to beat O'Shaquie Foster.
I think that's fair. I'm being honest with you. When I rewatched the fight, I give Teray Stevenson a lot more credit. The thing about it is when I was calling the fight, I call it obviously with the sound off. So I couldn't hear his instructions. I was just wondering, and that's why I was asking you guys that night, like, what you guys think of the instructions? I had no idea what the instructions were because I couldn't hear it, but I did notice it felt like, Ray didn't really, I didn't see the adjustments or attempts to make certain adjustments. And, shout out to Coach Hector Bermudez also, speaking to the fact that, hey, man, this guy's, by 4th, 5th round, this guy's breathing differently. He's putting a lot of effort into trying to implement this game plan. And maybe the lack of experience in the championship rounds made it difficult for him to kind of rally and maybe push forward the game plan that they saw was the right game plan. But you got a fighter in front of you who just doesn't got his legs up under him, or he's just not as conditioned as an O'Shaquie Foster who just kept pushing the pace all night long, just movement and just not only, by the way, speaking on the physical fatigue, but there had to be a mental fatigue there as well. When you think about, this was a chess match. This is a 12-round high-level chess match. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure, getting to those championship rounds, there had to be somewhat of a mental fatigue also on Raymond Ford. What do you think about that, Coach?
For me, I'll say this. I agree with the mental fatigue. What from watching both of them over their careers, different fights, I think O'Shaquie said, I'm going to stay in punch range, even if I'm not punching, to turn this into a game of chess on the clock. Raymond plays amazing checkers. He plays amazing checkers. And he can use his strength of getting a king and jumping across the board. What O'Shaquie did was made him play a high-speed chess match, but O'Shaquie used his pawns to attack his power pieces. And Raymond fought back with power pieces. So down the stretch, he didn't have those pawns to kind of block for him and make him feel like, okay, I can throw another curve at him. When you look at the 9th round, when Raymond started throwing his hard hook, at that point, Raymond was on go for broke because the nervousness of being behind had set in. And I think that's where the fight differed at, because I didn't think he needed to start throwing just abandonment hard hooks. Just start picking up the pace and try and touch him high, try and touch him low, and see if you could have snuck something in that could have got you a knockdown. But I think his mind said, I need the knockout. A knockdown would have changed the pace of the fight, especially in the 9th round. And he was the look upon guy that they wanted to win.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's a learning experience. Great fight. I can't help but feel like Raymond Ford leveled up last night as well. He definitely leveled up. Hopefully, if he doesn't feel robbed or anything like that, if he's really honest, he got some really priceless experience, and I'm expecting to see a better Raymond Ford moving forward. That being said, I'll ask you a question. I'll move on from here. But as far as pound for pound conversations are concerned, as far as his next fight is either going to be between, more than likely, I think people looking at a Navarrete unification, a lineal title. Navarrete just broke the pound for pound list. He's number 10 on the list. And of course, if the Shakur Stevenson fight does somehow play out and that ends up being the next fight, we already know where Shakur is on that pound for pound list. Is this guy a fight or two? I mean, is his next fight going to, in your mind, put him on your pound for pound list? Is that fair to say, or is he not there yet?
I'm gonna say it like this: the pound for pound list is a mythical list that once you get on it, you have to kind of mess up very good to get off of it. But it's also one of those lists that if the spots are taken by people that they love, then you're not going to get that spot. I think he could go in there and have a great fight against Navarrete, and let's say it's a draw. Do you take Navarrete off the pound for pound list?
I mean, like you said, it's a mythical list, right?
Right. So in
I'm
that
asking
case,
for your list.
on my personal list,
right.
With what's up there now, if he beats Navarrete, yes, he takes Navarrete's spot. But if Navarrete wasn't pound for pound and it was just a divisional fight, I don't think even a Navarrete fight is enough to put you on a pound for pound list just based on who's on the list currently. Because remember, if you're saying a 10, somebody has to come out. And I just don't look at the body of work as the body of work that takes out anybody who's currently there. But
you couldn't take a Kayazo out of there?
Close, but I still give the edge. But close. And it would depend on me how the Navarrete fight played out. If the Navarrete fight played out where he really, to the naked eye, he dominated him and the scorecards confirmed it, then yes, he goes on there, whether Navarrete was on there or not, because he would have unified.
100%, Coach. So I'm gonna go to Coach. Well, Angelo, do you want to tap into this? I know we've been talking.
No. I mean, I'm letting everybody kind of cook their points, and I see you're navigating it. The only thing I was gonna say is, yeah, of course, if I pick somebody during the fight, I'm gonna be mad about it, bro.
Oh yeah, about Raymond.
Why are you messing with me about that, man?
You were definitely like, come on,
throw him out, play. That should have been a discussion.
What are we doing here? Get control of your ring. Control these fighters. What are we doing here?
What are we doing?
Do your job, sir. Do your job. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Hey, Coach Hector Bermudez, pound for pound conversation. Same question I asked Coach Hackett here. Based off the performance you've seen, I mean, and then is he one fight away? Do you think his next fight performance, a victory, whether it's he becomes a unified lineal champion at 130 or he, obviously if he beats Shakur Stevenson, but either way, does his next fight for you, right? Forget about the status quo, but for your pound for pound list, does those Shaky forces check the boxes for you to be in that conversation? You're muted, Coach.
It definitely got to, we have to speak on. Actually, I like the Coach Hackett. That's his name, right? Coach Hackett's point. It is like, a little bit of favoritism there. And I like what he said about that. I never really paid too much attention to the pound for pound. I just wanted David Benavidez to be on there because of all the like first, the youngest and then the most poundage of moving up. And, I think he should have been on the list. They put him on the list. I'm satisfied with that. I'm satisfied them putting Shakur on the list up higher. I don't know how I feel. I hate to say this because I'll get some feedback with my own the Puerto Rican community. But Oscar Collazo, phenomenal fighter.
100%.
Let me say that again for my people before they
Say
fry.
for the people in the back. Tell the people in the back that ain't hear you. Go ahead.
No, phenomenal fighter. But if Oshaki beats someone like Navarrete, yeah, we I think he, like the coach said, somebody got to move out, and I think it would be if he beats Navarrete that just came in, then Navarrete had to go out and replace him with Oshaki, because remember Vargas going to wave and beating Henderson, what's his name, Henderson down in Mexico, and Hernandez and Fulton, Vargas, Fulton, Hernandez, and now, those are pretty tough fights.
Yeah, and even the Contention fight, right? Losing it, coming back in the back, right?
Yeah. And then I don't know if Collazo, I don't know how if Collazo's bag is that deep like Oshaki's. So yeah, I would probably, if he beats Navarrete, I would if the list is good. I mean, I don't know how Nakatani's still there, but I think I will move him into like probably the 9th position and drop Collazo down to 10. Just to start it off, if he beats someone like Navarrete. And then we got to start questioning Junto Nakatani, even though he did awesome against Inoue. But yeah, I don't know. These conversations are tough. I kind of like stay away from the pound for pound list. Like the coach said, it's just someone's perspective. It's not really set in stone.
Right. That's why I always make it personal. I always say your list. You know what I'm saying? who you consider. You know what I'm saying? In that top 10 list. Shout out to HLD. HL, what's good, man? What's up with the diabolical picture, man? Jesus, man. Jeez Louise, man.
Just saying it how it is, man.
HL getting busy on the AI, bro. He using his AI. He said, I pay. He said, I'm gonna use my little $20 a month on my chat GPT. She gonna work for me. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I mean, and that's another conversation. You know what I mean? I don't even know if we have time to get into that conversation, but speak on the Foster and the Ford fight. I mean, did it play out cadence wise the way you saw it playing out, or did somebody transcend, go past your expectations, and anybody impress you like, you know what, I didn't think you was gonna do as much as you did, and I gotta give you a respect, man. You did a lot more than I thought you do, or wasn't the way you thought it was.
We gotta start with the WWE move that was intentional, and the rookie corner and people around Ford who should have told him stay down, get the DQ and the new. And we in
that fight. They didn't want to get it like that.
Man, you get that belt. You get that belt. And if you want to rematch, we get the rematch and get another payday. Right now, where's the next payday?
Can I say something real quick? One, I don't know if they would have actually just disqualified and took the belt from him. They probably called it no contest. But I wish I had a fight with Nick Ball. My guy was TJ Doheny. Mm-hmm. And I missed the fact that he kicked my guy.
Right. I'm about to ask you. He kicked him, and my guy went down holding his leg. I didn't see it. And I'm like, my instinct of going in the ring and seeing my guy down, and I thought he got hit. Like, I don't know what happened. But my experience quickly kicked out. I said, hey, stay down. And I went to the ref. You gonna let that happen? I don't even know what happened. I didn't even know what happened, but I was like, hold on.
Even Coach Bermudez went crazy, and he was in there. See,
Coach turned down that. Yeah, I know where I'm from. We gonna play this game.
Yeah, and I know my guy's old. My guy's about to die out in the second half of the fight, and I'm like, yo, listen, we about to run away with this belt. I don't know what happened. I'm telling the ref, like, you gonna let this happen? You ain't gonna disqualify. You ain't gonna take a point. And I was like, I still didn't know. The whole fight went by, and when we was in the locker room, they was talking about the kick. I was like, what kick? And then people told me that's what happened. I was like, oh, he's lucky I didn't know.
Hey, Coach Bermudez, he gave his man, stay down, gave him the famous wink.
Yeah, yo, Coach, you got a viral wink, man. You got a viral wink, bro. That is a viral wink, man.
But I really think that right there. I'm not saying it's the reason what happened and everything throughout, but it has to change the mindset of the fighter. It has to change the dynamic of where you're focused at when you're in momentary in the ring. He was doing well in the beginning, bro. He was, but who knows what it could have changed? You know what I mean? The mindset, whatever. But I would have. I would have done whatever possible with that right there. Now, credit to Shock. I think he took the fight from Ford. I think Ford conceded at the end of this fight. I think he just said, I can't mess with this dude. And in the last 2 rounds, he conceded at least. I didn't see
like
him.
a mental fatigue, like
Mental fatigue, whatever how you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I saw a fighter conceding. He was not giving me his all in those last 2 rounds instead of putting it out there. And not saying I have to go knock this guy out. I think somebody might put your shots together, man. Turn up the volume. Just turn up the volume. He didn't do it. He gave up those last 2 rounds, and so did what he was supposed to do. And I'll credit the Shock. He won that fight. I have no issues with the win. But Ford, maybe all this pressure with the Shakur and everybody on top, all that. That plays a game. And these young bucks nowadays, they're I'm sorry, man, they're not mentally strong. They're not mentally strong for all that. And I think that plays a part into it. And who knows? He said, man, I can't beat this guy now. I'm just gonna let it go. I don't want to look like a fool.
How'd you feel about the scorecards? They were all over the place, right?
I didn't like the 118. I think it was a solid 8-4. I think it was you could say 8-4. 116, 112. I think it was one of the scorecards. I know they had one with a tie, but with the draw. But I really think it was. But the 118, but the right man won. That's the way I saw it. The right man won, regards. And I was going for Ford. Yeah,
it was a crazy scorecard, but it was I can't lie to you, man. I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I feel like you could see that in some of the rounds, like some of those rounds that I gave. Of course, I had my card 115, 113, and honestly, it was really a 116, 112 card. I literally gave Ford that round based off of him, the first round based off of him getting thrown out, which I know doesn't count, but it just felt like I did use him. Like, man, he threw him out the ring, bro. It was a close enough round to where I'm going to give it to Ford. But, outside of that, if he didn't get thrown out that ring, I would have gave it to Foster, and that would have been right there, 116, 112. But I wasn't mad at the 118, 110. I was like, what did you see? But at the same time, it was one of those fights where it's just like, it depends on what you're looking at and how you're looking at it. And especially being a judge sitting on the side of the ring, I don't know what they're seeing. You know what I'm saying? It's a different view. I always feel like I got the best view in the house. You know what I mean? When I'm calling it from the crib on the TV, it is what it is. I want to walk into. We just had Omari Jones here on the show. I don't know if everybody had a chance to see Omari Jones. Shout out to Omari Jones, man. But he had his performance. I thought he dominated, but at the same time, people are still kind of pushing back. They want to see this guy get back into stopping people. I mean, what did you guys think about the Omari Jones performance? Is anybody, Coach, if you want to tap into this one, Coach Bermudez, into that performance, what'd you think of it?
Well, I think Omari is an excellent boxer. He got awesome speed. He got to play into his attributes. I hear like feedback.
Yeah, I put him on mute. It's Coach Hackett. He's getting some feedback.
Yeah, so he's boxing coming forward, so he's not like a brawler coming forward in the sense that he's more squared up. He's still boxing coming forward, meaning he's upright, and when he's coming forward, he's kind of angling out a little bit, where it gives the opponent a chance to have escape routes. So even though that you'll go to cut the ring off, and then when you engage, you're still leaning over to his left, and then the opponent will have an escape route. I think he's a phenom. Definitely. His coach told me, after the last fight, his coach told me that he's a baby, he's still growing, and I agree with him. He has an awesome coach. I think they've robbed his coach of his coach was the coach of he just got knocked out by Ortiz his last fight.
Lubin Erickson.
He was Lubin's original coach, and if Lubin would have stayed with him, they would have did good things together. And so he got robbed out of being in the limelight with him. And I think Lubin would have been better off staying with him. And now, he's back on the scene with this young stud. And I think he'll do good with him. He got experience. He's an experienced coach. and I think he know what he's doing with his charge. But every time the guy was swinging, Omari is thinking knockout. He shouldn't think like that. He'll come. I think he's a young kid. He'll probably grow into some more power. His backhand, he kept slinging the backhand every time. It was kind of like a amateurish European fighter. He's setting up the backhand. He got a really good lead hand. He has a variety of the dexterity in his shoulder to go up and down and hooks. But the backhand needs to have the same type of dexterity. He only got like a straight to the body, straight to the head, or overhand. But then that's it. So if he wants to stop somebody, he have to learn how to like cross the. He have to learn how to engage on the inside, like get on the inside and then work with both hands. Of course, being safe, but he's still boxing. Like his nature is to be a boxer, which is nothing wrong with that. But if he wants to stop people like this guy here, no, you can't just like keep showing the same tempo and just doing something to set up the backhand. And once he set up the backhand, he had nothing, no other shot. If you see the fight, I saw the fight while you was talking to him. He threw the backhand, and every time he threw the backhand, it was just that was it. That was it. It was no follow up. He'll like reach in to throw it and then reach back out. So he's boxing like you got to get the right opponents in front of him, and he's a beast.
It felt like he didn't want to collapse. Like he knew that he had a fighter in front of him that was looking for a way out, whether it was tying him up or getting out. So it seemed like he didn't want to collapse the pocket too much. Like, he didn't want to overcommit. But I mean, you're the coach. I'm sure
No, it just showed me what we need to work. What if he was my kid? What we need to work on is going all the way on the inside,
right?
And put your body on them. Put your body on them and just work them from there. Just touch the points, touch the solar plex, touch the liver, touch the chin, touch the temporal lobe. Just keep touching those four areas. But he was going from the outside in and then going back on the outside.
Right.
He just have a boxer. He's a masterful boxer. He's just got to to be well rounded. He just got to learn how to fight on the inside.
Yeah. I agree. I think
it doesn't mean that he ain't gonna be a world champ. He's awesome. You get somebody to put pressure on him, he'll outbox anybody.
I think that's gonna be a problem. What do you think about him at 147? Because he gets into 147, he's in your lane now. He got to deal with you at some point. You go to 147, you got to deal with.
Don't say at 154. I know that right now is 147. He's probably a make it, but when he's ready to face everybody, he'll probably grow into a 154 pounder. So I'll just advise him just to stay at 154 and grow into that weight, because he's not ready to just fight top contenders yet. But by the time he's ready, his body will fall out. You don't want to stun him at 47 to then eventually move up.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's up to him. He said he makes it fine. He makes it easy. Hey.
Right. But that's how he feels now. Like you said, another 4 or 5 fights, 3, 4 fights later, like you said, 23 years old, man. He's growing. I talked to him last time. I told him, you're going to wake up one morning, bro, and your shoes ain't going to fit, right? Like, you still in that stage. I mean? I know what my shoe size is. I ain't worried about it. I buy 5, 6 pair of shoes. I'm comfortable. But right now, you might not want to buy 5, 6. You might want to just cop 1 or 2 at a time. Don't waste your money and get upset. You might be upset, have to give away some shoes. Shout out to everybody. What was the question? Yeah, Omari Jones, but also the banger of the night, which, listen, man, these guys ain't the big names in here, but man, Javon Woodard Jr., Miguel Flores. I think I'm going to bring it up just because I think that's a fight of the year candidate. It was definitely the fight of the night. What'd you guys think of that fight?
Well, I think shout out to Pop. He actually been in my camp here before. Super proud of him. I had him doing that to Flores. I know Flores. I watched him in his career, and Pop is super, super talented, and hopefully he could like take advantage of this win, and because he always gets somewhere and then lose. I'm hoping that he could just get over that threshold, because he definitely got talent, and his nickname is Pop for a reason. When he was in training camp, he made me proud here because I brought him as a sparring partner, and then he's such a good kid that I took him around to spar other people. not just the guy that he was here to spar with. And you know, and man, he was doing his thing. It was awesome to have him around. And so shout out to him. Hopefully he makes it over the hump and take advantage of this win and get the next win also.
Yeah. That was, like I said, I compared it to the Brian Norman Jr. Giovanni Santillan fight. I feel like he just stepped up in a very, he chose war. And Miguel Flores obliged him. It was like, okay, we can go to war. And he showed that, hey, that was a mistake on your side, bro. Because what Jay said, I got 9 problems. This ain't one. I do this.
Yeah, and one of the rooms I got that got a TV in it. Because he was the first guy in the room, and he put his like his information because it was a brand new TV, and it's still like we can't get rid of it.
Like, bro, what? I hate when people do that though. Come to your crib, put their Netflix in your, but boy, don't put your Netflix in my shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's what, you know what I mean? You don't live here, bro. What you doing, man? Your Amazon Prime here now, bro. Come on, bro. I got you took my YouTube. That's the worst. When they put their name in the YouTube, it's like, bro, whose algorithm is this? This is not my algorithm. Oh, bro, we got this. Bro. My kids do that. When they come here, bro, they take over everything, bro. The YouTube, and all of a sudden I got all types of weird shit popping up on the algorithm. I gotta remember to switch it out. It is what it is. Hey, Coach Bernard Hackett, you there?
Yeah, I'm here listening to the good conversation, my brothers.
No doubt.
Talk about Omari Jones and that fight. Yeah, I think Omari is a good fighter. But in all honesty, I don't see nothing special about him. His corner even seemed like that was a C- performance to them. He had a guy in front of him that was tailor made for him to knock out. He didn't knock him out. The last guy he had was tailor made for the same thing, same outcome. I see him as a good fighter. Have no nothing about it. But I'll say this: if he's growing at the rate that they're having growing, when we were at Matchroom, I said we love to fight him. And if the opportunity came and he was at 160, I would love to fight him. I just don't see nothing that miraculous about him. He doesn't do anything amazingly well. He's just super basic with subpar puncher power.
Yeah. I'm gonna mute you real quick. While I ask a question. What did you think about Javon Woodard's performance? I mean, what did you think about the fight altogether between him and Miguel Flores? I thought that was a Jaleel Hackett type of fight, right? That's what Jaleel like to do. That's that El Negro Mexicano energy.
Yeah, we know him, man. He a good kid. He always gonna come to fight. Like I said, sometimes deception of records can be wrong. Sometimes you'll take a loss. Everybody. I say this about boxing. It's the beauty of it. When you put two guys in the ring, no matter where they stand at, no matter where their background or what they say, you tend to find out if a guy was undefeated because he's good, or if a guy was undefeated because he was moved well. I say all the time, some of the best undefeated young prospects have great managers. They have Hall of Fame managers. But the ones that come in there 13-2, 17-3, those guys more than likely had to get it the hard way. So those are some of the tougher fights as opposed to the guy that they put a lot of fluff behind. So I'm happy for him. I hope this propels him to the next level of what he want to do in his career. But yeah, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah. It's about that time, so I'm gonna send it over to Fight Sports Talk. Let you kind of speak on the Omari Jones. Then I'll go to HLD and I'll let Angelo close it out because it's about that time. It's about to hit that 3-hour mark. So Fight Sport, what do you think about Omari? What do you think about Javon Woodard? Oh, you're muted. You hit the mute button. You muted yourself.
Sorry. Yeah, I'd say the same that the coaches have said. I mean, I don't have the experience with Omari that they have, so it was a good standard performance for me. I don't really know. I've never seen these guys train, so aside from what's on the internet, so I don't know what to expect from them. As far as prospects coming up from the amateurs, I'd say they were, again, pretty standard performances. I wish I could give more nuance, but because I don't know what to expect from them, it's hard really to say. I can maybe add something about the whole Shakur Stevenson thing, because
Yeah, I
that
was
thing's
gonna
really
say
bugged
because
me.
yeah, I know you got to go fight sports. So, what do you think about Shakur Stevenson signing Zuffa?
The siding with Zuffa thing I get, because, hey, you got to go elsewhere. And Eddie, one of the good things about him is that he doesn't tie fighters down to long contracts typically. So, which is why Anthony Joshua signing a lifelong contract is one of the dumbest things I think I've ever seen. So that makes sense. But him calling out little super featherweights, I mean, what is this guy smoking? Like, you beat the light welterweight that everyone wanted, certainly every American wanted to see you beat up, and you do it
Wait,
well.
he's not calling out O'Shaquie. Let's not do that. That's not what's happening. O'Shaquie's definitely calling him out. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest.
Well, okay, maybe Foster is the one who initiated it, but if Shakur is serious about fighting the top guys, then I don't know, your division, then don't entertain it. Like, is Foster really serious about jumping up 2 weight divisions? No, I think Shakur is succeeding in pissing everybody off. So you've got these champions like O'Shaq saying, well, I'll be the one to go up and shut him up. But he should be focusing on Navarrete. He should focus on Loma if he comes back. He should focus on the other champions in his division. Shakur needs to do this very strange thing called fighting all comers in your own divisions. And this guy, he can't help himself. He's got one fight where he looks like a pound for pound top fighter, and then he starts talking about doing other weird things. Like he criticized Turki Al-Sheikh, similar to how Teofimo did. Then he backtracked. Then he got a big fight. Then he moved networks. Now he's going to move networks again. And look, I am not the biggest fan of Devin Haney. I don't have the same expectations that a lot of his fans do. But Devin Haney did offer him a fight after he beat Lomachenko. And I thought Loma won that fight, but Devin Haney did offer him a fight. And Shakur, I still don't understand how he did this. He turned it down and said, no, I deserve more money. Like, this guy is not living on planet Earth. And it's just, here's the problem. He's a pound-for-pound top fighter, and everybody knows I am the biggest fan of Alexander Usyk, but I hated this Rico Verhoeven farce from the start, and at least he has secured his legacy as one of the best ever. Shakur is in his prime, and he's all over the place. So, big problem for me.
Yeah, I think Shakur is
what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Clay.
Well, I was going to say, I just think Shakur is kind of like become jaded with the boxing game that he thought it was going to be. And I think he's become like, he's kind of gone to the dark side a little bit, right? As far as Jedi dark side. And he's kind of gone on this F the belts, F legacy, F, you know what I mean? Kind of, because he's still tapped into the legacy conversation. He still wants to make the big fights, but I don't think he's willing to make the big fights at the price of what he would look at as participating in a system that's been against him from day one, he feels. And I think he's kind of like, hopefully, I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. He's definitely somebody who's just like Terrence Crawford to a certain degree. Well, Terrence never left the legacy, but he's definitely jaded by the boxing game. He feels like the boxing game tried to play him, especially the fans. So he's lost all connection with people's opinions and perspective. And he's like, I'm going to do me. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to move how I feel like moving, do what I feel like doing. And there's really no voice unless Terrence Crawford were to get in his ear and be like, come on, Shakur, we need to do something different. Other than that, it's going to take an Andre Ward or a Floyd Mayweather or Terrence. Other than that, I don't think he's literally listening to anybody in the boxing game. I think he feels he's in his feelings about it. It is what it is.
Clay,
go ahead, fight, because I'm going to send it to
sorry,
Angela.
Clay, if I could just very quickly, if I could just ask you, how has Shakur Stevenson been done wrong by the boxing game? Because I personally don't think he's got a case there. Yes, the world is unfair, and the boxing world is unfair to certain fighters. Like Rigondeaux just was the bearer of bad luck all the way. Ward, he was he was fortunate during his super middleweight run. Then when he had problems with Dan Goosen, then when he moved up and the sport wanted to move past him because they thought, okay, let's get more exciting fighters in. He was done wrong. But on the other hand, he got a very close decision go his way. So there's different levels of saying the sport is against you. I don't think Shakur Stevenson has a case there. I mean, he moved up, he missed weight, then he moved up. He got a vacant title. He looked really bad in it. So the sport's not really going to reward you when you look like that. And eventually he has started getting the big fights. But even when he was getting the big fights, this is the same thing I said on your show months ago about Teofimo Lopez. I thought, okay, if Teofimo gets deals that he's happy with, then we'll get performances like Josh Taylor out of him repeatedly. But he got with Turkey and he's still complaining. And same thing with Shakur. He got with Turkey, got good deals, and he still complained. So I think, again, in some ways, the sport doesn't like boring fighters. That's just how it is. So I don't think really he's got a big of a case to say that the sport's been hard on him therefore, this kind of attitude, I completely disagree with it personally. I don't think he's got any case. I think it's just him being a diva.
Very possible. Very possible.
So what I was going to ask you, Fight Sports, before you left was, I know Usyk's your favorite fighter. How do you feel about the Ring Magazine panelists talking about Bam Rodriguez wins this next weekend? He's going to be number 2, and they might possibly drop Usyk all the way to number 4. How do you feel about it?
I'm fine with it because I felt when Usyk beat Fury that until he retires, because I don't think anyone beats him, he's number 1. But again, I'm a man of principle. You can't take bullshit fights and still be the best in the sport. I don't think
and
Usyk,
look the way he did, right? And look like he did in the fight, the bullshit fight.
Yeah, well, I think the reason he looked that way is because he didn't take it serious, and you could tell because he came in 10 pounds heavy. But the thing is, Usyk, I said on your guys' show, I didn't think he would come in like that because Usyk never is lackluster in training, but there's a first time for everything. So I think we'll wait and see how it goes, because the layoff and the way Adja Kabayel fights things, we might get a legit upset. But if he beats Kabayel, he's back at number 1 for me, because that is high risk, low reward fight, and it's the fight Usyk's taken throughout his whole career. It's just everybody, I guess, is susceptible to the bullshit at some point. So yeah, I'm fine with Bam Bam moving up, and also the sport does need to move on. So my whole thing with pound for pound, because the coaches were saying earlier, it's subjective. Everybody's got their own favorite list, similar with greatest of all time. The reason why I wanted Usyk to remain number 1 is because he hasn't got the credit he's deserved, but now he's at the end of his career. So to answer your question, Reyes, the sport needs to move on. So yeah, you put young guys up there. I don't know if Bam Bam should be above Inoue, but that's all subjective.
Yeah, I don't know about him being above Inoue either, especially considering it looks like they're on a trajectory to fight each other. Why throw him above Inoue before they fight? Like let them fight each other. But guys, it's about that time for me, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I appreciate all you guys. Excellent top level panel, man. I'll put this panel right here that I had today on the show up against pretty much any damn panel I've seen in the space. I don't know. I maybe got to think about it, but y'all let me know if there's a better one. I think this was a real good panel today, real good conversations, real good breakdown on the fights, man. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody in the building home. Did I miss anybody? Hold on a second. Warrior Class. Laurie Class is straight up killing it with the color in the chat today, man. I don't think we got this last one here. It says, I don't know why people can't see Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC board of 32 members are moving Don King. Don King used to always get their hands on the money. Always find a way to get in the direction of the money, man. That was a conversation maybe another time we can have, because that's definitely a part of what's going on in space right now with the WBC and Noel McKellen and David Benavidez and Joe Pataya. And, once again, the politics of the sport never cease to amaze me, and especially the way Mauricio Suleiman's been been moving. Sanctioning bodies have been just getting exposed a little bit. I think they're overreacting big time to the Zuffa boxing thing as far as well, they aren't really. I mean, the IBF kind of pulled the trigger a little quick on stripping somebody, but everybody else seems to be kind of like talking a little bit, but not really moving too crazy. But yeah, Mauricio Suleiman is definitely wielding his sword as he sees fit, and it's starting to look like it's going to be. It's hard to argue against a legitimacy behind Zuffa Boxing's campaign right now to operate outside of them. I think he's just cementing the argument. He's just making it clear, like, do you see what he does? Do you see what I don't want to go political, but it's like when Iran got hit, their instincts to hit their neighbors kind of like expose them to a certain degree. Like, you see, you know, you see how they react. They go hit people that ain't got nothing to do with it in real time, right? To a certain degree. I don't want to get too political, but it just seems like Mauricio Suleiman, the way he's responding is by he's using the fighters as pawn pieces, and he's moving them around, and he's, you know, in my opinion, he's treating Noel McKellion unfair, right? He's threatening to strip him, forcing him to fight David Benavidez as a mandatory, and not giving him an opportunity to be the champion he wants to be and have a fight with Jao Patai, which is a way higher payday and a huge legacy fight. Puts him in the direction of getting a lineal title, and because of your little personal thing with Zuffa, you're now wielding your sword accordingly, and it just looks corrupt. Anyway, it is what it is. Shout out to everybody in the building, man.
Can I throw one question real quick?
Sure.
Hey, Coach Bermudez, we didn't get a chance to talk about your fighter and his performance on Saturday.
I would love to talk about the strength of his mentality and his heart, but Clayman got to go. I'd rather do.
Let me get a grade though. Let me get a grade on the performance.
A. Definitely A. He fought the whole fight with one hand and was able to dominate. Go forward. Not only did he dominate, he went. You know, usually when people hurt their arm, they want to just box and move around. He went forward and tried to give the fans a knockout, even though he only did it with one hand, which is awesome. Is a testament to his heart and his mental toughness, right? His skill and boxing IQ is on another level. And he was able, one other thing, he was able to answer the haters because everybody talking about he can't make 147. The contract weight was 150. He came in at 147. So he was able to shut down the doubters on that. It's just simple little things that went on in camp, and how serious he took a guy that he knew that it wasn't on his level. But then he still walked him down with one hand. It was just awesome to see his balance, his counter-punching ability, and the ability to give him a target and take it away. But listen, okay, I'll end with that. I don't know if
I was just gonna say, Coach, congratulations on Polanco, and also congratulations on Antoine, who you were actually with.
Antoine had a tough one. Antoine got dropped, got up, got hurt in a couple rounds, and he's a taller fighter. He's like 6 foot tall for 140. He was taller than the guy, but ironically enough, his length and his boxing ability wasn't enough to this guy. This guy was catching up to him. So then he had to be versatile and go on the inside, and that's how he beat the guy on the inside, being the taller man. Sometimes you got to switch it up mid-fight, and not have somebody on the outside telling them the pendulum step. But listen,
stop it, Coach. Come on, man.
Hey, I want to thank Clay, Reyes, and everybody listening. Continue to seek knowledge because knowledge is the foundation, wisdom is the application, and understanding is the reward. Until next time, stand on truth, move with purpose, and never let temporary hardship convince you to abandon your permanent destiny.
Ooh, peace. That one hit different. That one right there. I got that right there. That resonates with me personally right now, this moment. Shout out to Warrior Class in the building with the $5. Says, admit it, Rico was winning rounds over Usyk. The knockdown gave Usyk an out, especially after the bell rang. If it went to the cards, Usyk would have lost. I don't know. Those cards had Usyk Damn near. I don't know. After that knockdown,
my card, he would have won. But all right.
Yeah. SSM 1999 with the $5 says, appreciate your work, Clay and Reyes. Keep up the good work, man. We appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Until the next one, guys. It's at ATP Combat Media Show. And at this point, we out.
The richest got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. Known for my city like old age easy. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babylist, they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You try to aim for the top like this and you're in your element with a fire like this. And they hoping you fall and they praying you miss. But it's all in the risk, I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone, give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know.